Chapter 1251. The Undisputed Invincible Great Saint. The fate of the two invincible great saints left many strong beings on the galaxy Chaos continent bewildered. The revered figures cautiously observing in the nearby void domain were equally caught off guard. When the strength of the galaxy great saint was indeed terrifying, sweeping across the Chaos great saints undefeated. Yet, judging by his performance in the Shenhuang universe, he was still slightly short of being a true invincible great saint. But now, because Lin Yuan's intervention this time had the intention of establishing dominance, the countless strong beings watched as the terrifying no struggle, no resistance. It was as if they melted away like snow under the sun without suspense. How can this be? Can invincible great saints be this weak? Or is the galaxy great saint too strong? But no matter how strong, it shouldn't be possible to kill invincible great saints as easily as crushing ants, right? The revered figures felt it was somewhat absurd. Were those two truly invincible great saints? Indeed, I have heard of how powerful is the galaxy great saint, truly? The strong beings erupt simultaneously. The scene of the galaxy great saint decisively killing the two invincible great saints spread swiftly through the social circles of the revered figures. In the vast chaos void, battles between invincible great saints were rare, let alone such one-sided domination. Could invincible great saints be so thoroughly crushed, and not just one but two? The largest city on the galaxy Chaos continent. The Shenyuan Supreme and 8 other human civilization supreme beings exchanged glances. The power of the galaxy. The Shenyuan Supreme seemed to be dreaming. When the two invincible great saints visited earlier, he was already shocked and worried Lin Yuan might suffer in front of them. Who expected the invincible great saints? Too terrifying. The Void God Ultimate Being was somewhat incredulous. He had realized Lin Yuan's terrifying talent since their home universe. Indeed, Lin Yuan had led all human civilization to survive the universal apocalypse, established themselves in the Chaos Void, and now opened the galaxy Chaos continent, making human civilization the absolute rulers of tens of thousands of void domains nearby. But now, the scene of the two invincible great saints vanishing like bubbles left the Void God Ultimate Being in a daze. Those were invincible great saints, the pinnacle beings of the Chaos Void across countless cosmic eras. Yet, they were just easily destroyed by the galaxy. Could the galaxy have already entered the 13th layer? The Feather Butterfly Supreme Being couldn't help but speak. Such an easy killing of invincible great saints seemed beyond what they were capable of. Probably not yet. Entering the 13th layer would surely trigger heaven-defying phenomena. Xiaqin Supreme thought for a while and continued, however, even if the galaxy hasn't entered the 13th layer, his strength likely surpasses the 12th layer. The other supreme beings nodded, deeply agreeing and feeling incredibly invigorated. Lin Yuan originated from human civilization, and the stronger he was, the more human civilization could benefit. Within the dark secret realm, the bald man's true form suddenly opened his eyes. The bald man was in disbelief, his mind continuously flashing back to the moment the galaxy great saint, transformed into the eternal fierce sun, illuminated the universe, making him tremble uncontrollably. Too strong, too strong. The bald man swallowed, even when facing Luo Ho Great Saint. He never felt such suffocating oppression. Luo Ho Great Saint was indeed powerful, especially with the mastery of that 13th layer legacy. But even then, the bald man felt he could struggle and resist. Yet facing Lin Yuan, the bald man didn't even entertain the thought of struggling. That galaxy great saint. Just then, a thin figure descended, creating an avatar that sat across from the bald man. The close relationship between the two invincible great saints explained why they worked together for Luo Ho Great Saint. How could the Chaos Void possess such a strong being? The bald man looked at the thin figure, expressing incredulity. I have no idea. The thin figure shook his head, still bewildered. But the galaxy great saint only obliterated our main battle physical body and didn't target other avatars. It seems we're safe. The thin figure breathed a slight sigh of relief. Yes, Upon hearing this, the bald man felt confident. Given that the Galaxy Great Saint could instantly obliterate all survival means of the 9 Phoenix Shadow Demon, he must be highly proficient in the curse-killing skill. Such a being may not be capable of similarly eliminating their many avatars for survival. He must certainly be able to precisely lock onto all their causal sources. Locking onto causal sources, then systematically chasing and eliminating them, with the strength of the Galaxy Great Saint, the 2 invincible Great Saints stand no chance of resistance. In such a case, surviving might only be achievable through the risk-filled process of reincarnation. Yet even for invincible Great Saints, reincarnation involves risks, and if unsuccessful, results in endless entrapment in the cycle of rebirth, a fate worse than being caught in a time loop. What do we do now? And what about Luo Ho Great Saint? The thin figure asked. Chapter 1252. The power of the Galaxy Great Saint is too strong. I suppose Luo Ho Great Saint won't blame us, the bald man said. But we still ought to meet Luo Ho Great Saint to explain in person. Indeed, the gaunt figure nodded. They are merely serving Luo Ho Great Saint, not as slaves, and they possess the right to choose. Even the invincible Great Saint wouldn't recklessly. The towering palace stood at the deepest point of time and space. On the throne at the highest point of the palace sat a figure shrouded in gray mist. Galaxy Great Saint? The gray misty figure was none other than Luo Ho Great Saint, who was muttering to himself, watching scenes outside the Galaxy Chaos continent flashing before him. The token he had bestowed was crushed, and a wisp of his avatar descended, naturally witnessing the scene of Lin Yuan making his move. This Galaxy Great Saint. Just how many 13-stage inheritances has he mastered? The gray misty figure found it hard to believe. Despite the brief glimpse, he faintly sensed that the 13-stage power involved during the obliteration of his avatar could include 3 or 4 types. For instance, the omnipresent suppression of time and space, or the fierce sun incarnated by the Galaxy Great Saint and such. All contained power transcending the 12th stage, likely some form of 13-stage inheritance. 3 or 4 types of 13-stage inheritance, not only practiced but also perfectly integrated together. Luo Ho Great Saint couldn't comprehend. After mastering one 13-stage inheritance, practicing a second would see the difficulty soar, as the 13-stage inheritance carries 13-stage power, and it is already a strain for a 12th-stage being to bear 13-stage power, let alone more than one. Wow! At that moment, the bald man and the gaunt figure appeared inside the palace. Great Saint! The bald man and the gaunt figure bowed slightly. No need to say much, I already know. Luo Ho Great Saint gazed down at the 2 peerless Great Saints. That Galaxy Great Saint, you needn't concern yourselves with him in the future. Yes. The bald man and the gaunt figure responded. Even if Luo Ho Great Saint had instructed them to confront the Galaxy Great Saint, the 2 peerless Great Saints would have refused. A joke? Confront the Galaxy Great Saint? How is that different from seeking death? Luo Ho Great Saint? Galaxy Great Saint? The bald man tentatively asked. They knew the Galaxy Great Saint was strong, but the extent was unclear to them. Yet, Luo Ho Great Saint's power far exceeded theirs, so he likely saw much clearer than they did. Galaxy Great Saint. Very strong. Extremely strong. Not my opponent at all. Luo Ho Great Saint remained silent for a while before stating truthfully. Though it was just a fleeting glance of an avatar, and he hadn't even witnessed the true strength of the Galaxy Great Saint, Luo Ho Great Saint was very aware that he was far from being a match for the Galaxy Great Saint. Even though it was just an avatar, they shared the same mind and will, and at that time Luo Ho Great Saint felt as if the entire chaos void was collapsing upon him. Luo Ho Great Saint had a feeling that, even if it were his true self facing the Galaxy Great Saint, the final outcome would be no different, vanishing to ashes under the fierce sun that was the Galaxy Great Saint. Luo Ho Great Saint's frankness left the bald man and the gaunt figure in silence. The 2 peerless Great Saints indeed sensed that Luo Ho Great Saint was no match for the Galaxy Great Saint. The sense of oppression they felt from both was entirely different. Yet Luo Ho Great Saint's candid admission left the bald man and the gaunt figure ever more astonished. This meant that the disparity in strength was not just present but extraordinarily large, to the point where Luo Ho Great Saint didn't even entertain the thought of fighting. Henceforth, you no longer need to follow me. Do as you wish. Luo Ho Great Saint looked at the two peerless great saints, sighed inwardly, and spoke up. Originally, he planned to sweep across the chaos void to prove the title of the invincible great saint, which was why he subdued some peerless great saints, planning to use them in the future to govern vast tracts of void. Each invincible great saint would typically establish their own power, having numerous followers to serve. But now, Luo Ho Great Saint knew that his plan had become unattainable. With the Galaxy Great Saint around, even if he possessed the strength of a conventional invincible great saint, he would never become invincible, as he was simply no match for the Galaxy Great Saint. Yes. The bald man and the gaunt figure exchanged glances, and they did not refuse. As peerless great saints, their willingness to follow Luo Ho Great Saint was based on their belief that he could become an invincible great saint in the future. Now that possibility was gone, the bald man and the gaunt figure naturally did not plan to continue following. Luo Ho Great Saint watched as the bald man and the gaunt figure vanished. Subsequently, he summoned the subdued peerless great saints to dismiss them all before completely sealing the palace. Chaos void, throughout eternity, no matter how strong, can only dominate for a while. Only by stepping into the 13th stage and becoming a life of time can one attain ultimate freedom. Luo Ho Great Saint, with a tranquil heart, intended to immediately rush for the 13th stage. As it stands, he had achieved perfection in all areas: realm, strength, insights into the 13th stage, inheritance's power, and so on. If it weren't for wanting to leave behind his name in the chaos void by becoming an invincible great saint, he would have begun his charge for the 13th stage long ago. Within the twisted time-space, several special conscious entities gazed from afar at the Galaxy Chaos continent. This Galaxy Great Saint is by no means one of the top 10, top 5, or top 3 invincible great saints in Chaos Void history. A shattered long sword emitted a wave of consciousness. He is the strongest invincible great saint. Not even those original beings born at the beginning of Chaos Void could match the current Galaxy Great Saint. The shattered longsword's tone was filled with emotion. Observing up close, they discovered more of Lin Yuan's depths. Even though annihilating two peerless great saints was merely a casual move, the levels of power involved seemed inconceivable to the special entities. The strongest invincible great saint. The other special conscious entities were full of admiration. The initial beings born at the inception of Chaos Void, replete with chaotic void's creation, were incredibly profound in their foundations, yet even these special entities found it unbelievable. How exactly did this Galaxy Great Saint cultivate the consciousness of the ancient altar spirit voiced, finding it simply against reason? Galaxy Great Saint. The eye of myriad laws was filled with delight. It held high expectations for Lin Yuan but hadn't expected him to grow to such a level. The strongest invincible great saint in Chaos Void history? As time flew by, the battle outside the Galaxy Chaos continent spread at an alarming rate. One by one, Chaos Great Saints and even peerless Great Saints witnessed the image loops of that battle. Too strong. Not an opponent. I'm not an opponent either. How to resist? In this battle, the Galaxy Great Saint probably didn't even exert full strength. Many ancient peerless great saints, after seeing the battle imagery, did not even entertain thoughts of challenge and directly acknowledged their inferiority. As peerless great saints, they had a firm grasp on power. If it were merely slightly stronger, they wouldn't concede so readily, but the gap between the Galaxy Great Saint and them was far more than just simple. Galaxy Great in some peerless great saints expressed thoughts. Though they didn't gain universal recognition among peerless great saints, none opposed the notion. Who dared to oppose? And for peerless great saints, not opposing is as good as acknowledging. Deep within the Galaxy Chaos continent, Lin Yuan also sensed the impact of his actions on the Chaos Void, even beginning to be widely acknowledged as the invincible great saint of this era. Invincible great saint? Lin Yuan's expression was peculiar. The invincible great saints in Chaos Void history all earned their name through countless fierce battles, subduing those peerless great saints to eventually prove the title of the invincible great saint. And with just a single move, he was hailed as the invincible great saint. But with my current strength, there shouldn't be any spiritual entity in any special place daring to oppose me, right? Lin Yuan's mind expanded. Contemplating the vague future timeline fragments he glimpsed under the Sky Void Tripod's augmentation. Chapter 1253, 6 Ancient Countries Under the Progenitor I Call the Shots. Lin Yuan is ultimately not a 13th layer time life. Even with the power of the Sky Void Tripod, the future images he saw were extremely fragmented, and without any context. But from the conclusions derived from that image, it can be speculated that his future self is likely to have a deep enmity with some special place, to the extent that he would give up everything in the Chaos Void to destroy the opponent. And currently, with Lin Yuan's strength, even if the spirit of the special place takes action, it is impossible to do anything to him. No such enmity exists. It's even more impossible that he would destroy everything just to ruin the opponent. The future. Lin Yuan's expression was thoughtful. The future is ever-changing, and every time node will give birth to countless future timelines. The future image he saw was merely one possibility, not a predetermined future. Moreover, since Lin Yuan was on guard, this future is unlikely to occur. Fang Yuan World, Fierce Sun Capital. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, observing the continuously pulsating Abyss Dragon's heart in front of him. Perfect, too perfect. The more Lin Yuan observed, the more amazed he became. The power system and basic structure of the Abyss Dragon completely surpassed Lin Yuan's previous understanding of life. At first, Lin Yuan thought that the foundation of a Chaos Void cultivator would surely be stronger than that of this Fang Yuan world. But for the Abyss Dragon, the strongest aspect is its own foundation. Every particle of the Abyss Dragon's body contains a vast world, and its heart even nurtures a miniature Fang Yuan world. Such a foundation, such profoundness, even Lin Yuan, who is currently cultivating the infinite void, may not necessarily compare. If I could imitate the Abyss Dragon and open up a universe within each of my own particles, then reconstruct with the infinite void my power. Lin Yuan's heart was greatly moved. 12 layers stepping into 13 layers, the nature of life will make a significant leap, transforming into time life. However, even among time lives, there are differences in strength. The deeper the accumulation at the 12-layer level, the greater the power increase upon stepping into the 13th layer. Why did the Defu ancestor immediately take action against the Abyss Dragon upon stepping into the 13th layer? It was because dragging it out would allow the Abyss Dragon the possibility of entering the 13th. And with the Abyss Dragon's foundation, once it stepped into the 13th layer, its power would probably surpass the Defu ancestor. Let's try it. Lin Yuan began to further observe the Abyss Dragon's heart. Golden Mist Treasure Land. Lin Yuan focused most of his mind on understanding the operation of the origin source of Fang Yuan World. The remainder of his mind was trying to sort out his own causality. Ever since the martial arts evolution road spread completely among the 6 ancient countries, my karma has become infinitely more complex. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The reason for this lies in the fact that every martial Tao cultivator is equivalent to forming a causal relationship with him, the ancestor of martial arts. Even due to the dominance relationship of the evolution road, Lin Yuan can follow these causal relationships to observe every detail of each martial Tao cultivator's life. When martial Tao is initially passed down, it's necessary to take in some disciples with martial talent for cultivation. Lin Yuan contemplated, noting this approach has 2 purposes. One is to better spread martial Tao, at least let the beings of this Fang Yuan world see that Lin Yuan is sincerely propagating martial Tao. The second is preparation for opening up the 7th ancient country in the future. The establishment of an ancient country certainly requires a large number of subordinates to manage it. Lin Yuan himself can't possibly handle everything personally. Compared to other ancestors with numerous offspring, Lin Yuan's rise was too fast, and he still has no offspring. In this case, he can completely use disciples as a substitute. The advantage of disciples is that they are not limited by bloodline and can absorb any gifted beings. As long as they practice martial Tao, they are all Lin Yuan's disciples. Let me see. Lin Yuan began manipulating the lines of causality, and by following these connections, he could see the state of each martial Tao cultivator, thus judging their talent in martial Tao cultivation. Lin Yuan had barely started watching when he was pleasantly surprised. Martial arts time talent? Lin Yuan's expression showed a hint of intrigue. From the second layer onward, martial Tao requires insight into the corresponding power. For instance, what Lin Yuan comprehended was the Yin-Yang Taiji power, which evolved into today's Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji Dao. And at this moment, Lin Yuan discovered a cultivator with martial arts time talent. If one follows this path, they will eventually condense a martial arts time primordial spirit and further evolve a time great Dao. The potential is absolutely the greatest Lin Yuan has seen so far among beings with martial Tao cultivation talent. Is it in the thousand-teeth domain of the Deling ancient country? Lin Yuan followed the causal sensing, confirming the specific location of such a great martial Tao prodigy should definitely be brought over. With a slight thought, Lin Yuan conjured an avatar in the Deling ancient country and headed towards the thousand-teeth. Deling ancient country, thousand-teeth domain. A pale-faced young man was desperately fleeing, with several auras swiftly closing in behind, clearly intent on killing him. I can't stay in the thousand-teeth domain any longer, or I'll eventually be drained to death by the thousand-teeth king. The young man gritted his teeth. The young man greatly disliked this cultivation method. In his view, every life was an independent entity, and their spirit belonged to themselves. How could it be wantonly manipulated, controlled, or even absorbed? Not long ago, the martial Tao established by the galaxy venerate spread to the thousand-teeth domain. I practiced it a bit, and it suited me well. Even if I leave the thousand-teeth domain, leave the ancient country of Deling, and abandon its cultivation heritage, I can still survive and grow. The young man's thoughts turned rapidly. The ruler of the thousand-teeth domain, the thousand-teeth king, was a heavenly venerate with terrifying power, viewing all beings within the thousand-teeth domain as mere resources, selecting a batch of lives for devouring and absorption at regular intervals. Run, run, run. The young man sped up as much as possible. He had to get out quickly. If he lingered too long, the number of pursuers would increase, possibly even drawing the attention of great lord-level powerhouses. The thousand-teeth king had a strong possessiveness over the lives in the domain, forbidding them to escape. His great lord subordinates would dispatch several sentries to prevent beings like the young man from escaping. Just at this moment, a silent figure appeared in the direction the young man was fleeing. The young man's pupils contracted, wanting to dodge, but found his body suddenly immobilized. What is this? His heart chilled, immediately realizing that the figure before him was an existence he couldn't contend with. One of the thousand-teeth king's subordinates? His mind trembled, contemplating ending his own life directly. Those like him who escaped and were caught were sure to suffer agonies worse than death. Don't be hasty. Lin Yuan smiled as he looked at the young man. I don't know the thousand-teeth king. Before coming, Lin Yuan had already understood the situation in the thousand-teeth domain. In fact, the entire ancient country of Deling was the same. Due to the spirit of life, the hierarchy from top to bottom was extremely strict. The weak must offer their spirit to the strong, and the strong must offer to the even stronger, repeating this cycle, with the royal family of the ancient country of Deling ultimately benefiting. This was also why the ancient country of Deling was among the 6 great ancient countries, second only to the ancient country of Defu, because of this unique cultivation system. Lin Yuan did not agree with this cultivation system but wasn't overly opposed to it either. It's just a method of cultivation. You don't know the thousand-teeth king? The young man sighed with relief in his heart. That's a relief. Lin Yuan looked at the young man and asked casually. How did you know, senior? The young man Meng Shi was slightly taken aback, curiously asking. When I want to know something, I naturally know. Lin Yuan replied with a smile. Yes. Although young Meng Shi couldn't understand, he nodded obediently. He realized at this moment that the Lin Yuan before him must be a powerful figure just passing by, likely not a cultivator of the ancient country of Deling. All right, let's get to the main point. Lin Yuan looked at the young man, confirming the martial arts talent in him, and directly said, I intend to take you as a disciple. What do you think? Take me as a disciple? The young man Meng Shi was slightly stunned. What? Unwilling? Lin Yuan asked. Willing, of course I'm willing. The young man Meng Shi immediately nodded. He could be sure that Lin Yuan was definitely a powerhouse far beyond him, and to be taken as a disciple by such an existence was undoubtedly a great opportunity. But, Senior, I will be honest with you. The young man Meng Shi said, taking me as a disciple might bring you trouble. I've been selected by the Thousand Teeth King. At intervals, I must offer my own spirit. I refused, so I ran away. The young man Meng Shi looked at Lin Yuan. I'm currently being chased by the Thousand Teeth King's subordinates. Taking me as a disciple would mean offending the The young man Meng Shi had thought of agreeing to Lin Yuan's mentorship offer, then escaping the Thousand Teeth domain with him. But doing so, if discovered, would surely implicate Lin Yuan, and the young man Meng Shi didn't want to do that. Lin Yuan nodded, continuing, You just need to answer whether you are willing or not. Senior, I'm definitely willing, but this is the Thousand Teeth domain, the ancient country of Deling. The young man Meng Shi's tone became urgent, faintly sensing that the pursuers were rapidly closing in. Senior, the ancient country of Deling is unlike other ancient countries. But he found his body still immobilized, and couldn't help but look at Lin Yuan in confusion. Senior, rules. Lin Yuan looked towards the capital of Deling, pausing his speech for a moment and then smiled. Among the 6 great ancient countries, below the ancestor, many matters are up to me. What I say is the rule. After Lin Yuan finished speaking, he lifted his right hand and gently made a gesture. The Thousand Teeth King, far away in the Thousand Teeth City, appeared before him in an instant. Lin Yuan glanced at the Thousand Teeth King, whose face showed terror. What do you say? Chapter 1254. Transforming into the Abyss. At this moment, Thousand Teeth King was incredibly terrified. A moment ago, he was still indulging in cultivation pleasures in Thousand Teeth City. As the ruler of in this grand domain, the Thousand Teeth King possessed supreme power and status. Even the orders of the Deling Emperor could be selectively refused. But the next moment, he was forcibly teleported to this place. Throughout, the Thousand Teeth King couldn't break free. To be precise, he hadn't even realized before he found himself here. This left Thousand Teeth King's mind blank. He was a heavenly venerate. Even if not a peak venerate, still a top tier. But to so effortlessly ignore his not even the strong, though there was a big gap between a heavenly venerate and the strongest venerate, belonging to the same heaven. What is that? After the initial just this attention made Thousand Teeth King's scalp tingle with numbness. Galactic Celestial. The heavenly, with a direct order from the Deling ancestor, Thousand compared to the stunned Thousand Teeth King, the young Meng Shi felt a bit desperate. He had once glimpsed the Thousand Teeth King from afar and immediately recognized this ruler of the Thousand Teeth domain. Is it due to that senior? Young Meng Shi was not foolish and immediately realized that the appearance of Thousand Teeth King seemed related to the senior stopping him. Especially when Lin Yuan said, What do you think? To Thousand Teeth King? It indicated that the senior seemed to know that Thousand Teeth King would come. Is that what the heavenly venerate is referring to? Thousand Teeth King, unaware of what Lin Yuan said earlier, heard the first line after being teleported was, What do you think? But it didn't prevent Thousand Teeth King from responding. No matter what the Galactic Celestial said, he had to comply. Thousand Teeth King was well aware that the unspoken rule among the 6 ancient nations was that the heavenly venerate should not interfere, which was ineffective against the Galactic Celestial. With a personal order from the Deling ancestor not to provoke the Galactic Celestial, no matter the reason, Thousand Teeth King knew what he had to do. In any case, he couldn't afford to offend. Thousand Teeth King was even prepared to cede the Thousand Teeth domain. The Galactic Celestial personally descending would surely not be for a small reason, perhaps eyeing the Thousand Teeth domain. Within the Thousand-Teeth domain, there lay a second-grade treasure land of significant value. Did you hear that? Lin Yuan smiled, looking at young Meng Shi. He was quite satisfied with the other's performance. Although Lin Yuan didn't value the character of martial cultivators, even if they were heinous villains, as long as they practiced martial Tao, they were Lin Yuan's anchor point, beacon. But if their character was good, Lin Yuan would feel at ease. Ah? Young Meng Shi finally understood. He looked at the respectful Thousand-Teeth King and then at the smiling Lin Yuan. For a moment he was quite at a loss. In his heart, the high and mighty Thousand-Teeth King, in front of the senior who stopped him, had lowered himself so much, almost kowtowing to the ground. Then I'll take this person away. Lin Yuan looked at Thousand-Teeth King and said calmly. Yes, 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 heavenly venerate, not to mention taking one person away. Even if you took all the living beings of my Thousand-Teeth domain, it wouldn't be a problem. Thousand-Teeth King was slightly stunned, glanced at young Meng Shi, and quickly answered. Originally, he was prepared to give up the Thousand-Teeth domain, but didn't expect the Galactic Celestial merely wanted to take Meng Shi. Then let's go. Lin Yuan waved his hand and then took the still shocked young Meng Shi away. Galactic Celestial has left? Thousand-Teeth King remained bowing for a while, cautiously raised his head, and found Lin Yuan had disappeared, feeling slightly relieved. So that was the Galactic Celestial? The invincible venerate acknowledged by the 6 ancient nations. Thousand-Teeth King's thoughts scattered. With the Galactic Celestial's power, even without the De Ling ancestors' order, he wouldn't dare provoke him. In that newly emerged treasure land, the Galactic Celestial slaughtered everywhere, even crushing the strongest venerate of Defu ancient country, hailed as the first heavenly venerate since the establishment of the 6 ancient nations. Such a strong entity with terrifying strength would make even the strongest venerate tremble before him, let alone a mere ordinary heavenly venerate like Thousand-Teeth King. Galactic Celestial took that person? I wonder why. Thousand-Teeth King puzzled, but dared not ponder much, immediately reporting the matter to the Emperor of the Great Spirit Ancient Nation. Soon, the Emperor sent back a reply saying what he did was right. Regardless of what the Galactic Celestial requested, just agree. Agree to any request? Thousand-Teeth King once again realized the fearsome nature of the Galactic Celestial. The Emperor dared to say this, undoubtedly with the consent of the ancestor. And the ancestor held the Galactic Celestial in such high regard, saying to agree to any request. Whiz, whiz, whiz. Just then, dozens of shadows chased over, precisely the strong ones who had been pursuing young Meng Shi. These strong ones, upon seeing the Thousand-Teeth King, immediately stopped and bowed to pay respects. The one you were just chasing, named Meng Shi? Thousand-Teeth King asked one more question. Chapter 1255. He didn't know Meng Shi. There were far too many ants like Meng Shi within the Thousand-Teeth domain. Yes. Dozens of pursuers looked cautiously at the Thousand-Teeth King. No need to pursue anymore. After pondering for a while, the Thousand-Teeth King instructed, if you encounter Meng Shi again in the future, do not take action, immediately notify me. Although he didn't know the purpose of the Galactic Heaven Venerable taking Meng Shi away, any involvement with the Galactic Heaven Venerable, even if it's just an ant, the Thousand-Teeth King dared not neglect. Fierce Sun Capital. Lin Yuan brought the young Meng Shi into the Galaxy Royal Mansion. Galaxy. The young Meng Shi gazed at the majestic royal mansion, vaguely guessing Lin Yuan's true identity. In fact, the young Meng Shi, who had come to realization, finally understood why the high and mighty Thousand-Teeth King behaved that way upon seeing Lin Yuan. Because the one who blocked him was the Galaxy Venerate. The Galaxy Venerate who shook the 6 great ancient kingdoms. The martial arts inheritance the young Meng Shi attempted to cultivate not long ago was created by the Galaxy Venerate. Very soon, the young Meng Shi, feeling anxious, reached the depths of the royal mansion. You should know who I am by now, right? Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, smiling as he looked at the young Meng Shi. I greet the Galaxy Venerate. The young Meng Shi kneeled down with a thud. In terms of gratitude, if it wasn't for the Galaxy Venerate, he would likely have been captured by the subordinates of the Thousand-Teeth King. In terms of strength, the Galaxy Venerate is known as the strongest under the ancestors of the six great ancient kingdoms. The young Meng Shi naturally understood who he was facing now. Stand up. With a wave of Lin Yuan's hand, the young Meng Shi felt an invisible force lifting him up. I intend to take you as my disciple. Would you be willing? Lin Yuan said with a smile. The young Meng Shi's martial Tao talent concerning time was too rare. Without Lin Yuan's guidance, it would be easy for him to take a wrong path and waste this talent. I am willing. I, Meng Shi, am willing. The young Meng Shi prostrated himself abruptly. Greetings, master. Lin Yuan nodded. Subsequently, Lin Yuan provided some brief advice on Meng Shi's martial cultivation. Your talent is excellent. Just focus on the aspect of time. Strive to coalesce the time primordial spirit. Lin Yuan instructed. Golden Mist Treasure Land. Lin Yuan continuously sent out some avatars, accepting some seedlings with decent martial talent from within the scope of the six great ancient kingdoms to personally cultivate them. These seedlings would be the pillars of the branches on the martial arts evolution road in the future, as well as the foundation for Lin Yuan after establishing the seventh ancient country. Heart of the Abyssal Dragon. Lin Yuan observed the heart pulsing in front of him, simultaneously splitting off an avatar to try and open up a universe on the particle level. When Lin Yuan opened his first particle world, it was still effortless. With his strength, opening up a world was easy. Even opening within his own particles was not difficult. However, when Lin Yuan opened his 1000th particle world, he felt a slight pressure. These 1000 particle worlds each required a portion of his mental effort, while a single particle world occupied a negligible amount of effort. 1000 was considerable. Especially when Lin Yuan almost devoted 99% of his effort to comprehend the operation of the origin source of the Feng Yuan world. The 120,000th particle world. Soon, Lin Yuan opened up the 120,000th particle world. At this moment, he looked solemn with these worlds nearly occupying all his mental efforts outside comprehending the operation of the origin source of the Feng Yuan world. Not good. Lin Yuan's expression slightly changed, as a subtle imbalance emerged amongst the 120,000 particle worlds, instantly causing the experimental avatar to rapidly crumble. Failed. Lin Yuan frowned tightly. He could feel that the reason for failing to open the particle worlds wasn't due to insufficient mental effort. Even without comprehending the operation of the origin source of the Feng Yuan world, devoting all mental efforts to open up particle worlds, how many worlds could be opened up in the end? 12 billion? Or 120 billion? One should know particles are just the most microscopic structure of life. Compared to Lin Yuan's true body, let alone 120 billion particle worlds, even 10 trillion particle worlds are just a drop in the ocean, insignificant. Maintaining particle worlds shouldn't consume mental effort. The existence of particle worlds is instinctual, just like drinking water and breathing. Lin Yuan continued to observe the Abyss Dragon's heart. The first living being born in this origin source world, the Abyss Dragon, had each of its particles containing a vast world, and the existence of these vast worlds surely would not consume much mental effort. Otherwise, the Abyss Dragon would have long crumbled. Take your time. Lin Yuan looked at the Abyss Dragon's heart, not discouraged. Failing once wasn't a big deal. Through this failure, he realized that opening particle worlds was unrelated to mental effort, which was progress, getting him a step closer to success. Deep in time and space, inside a palace, 6 ancestors sat in succession. Only the ancestors could enter this palace in this time and space, serving as a place where the 6 ancestors occasionally discussed the Tao. However, due to Lin Yuan's emergence, the 6 ancestors had already stationed an avatar here at all times, facilitating constant communication. In the vision of each ancestor, numerous timelines stretched out, and if carefully observed, these timelines were all future timelines of Lin Yuan. Upon discovering the nearly inevitable characteristics of Lin Yuan's future, the 6 ancestors naturally focused all their efforts on watching his timelines. After all, this almost inevitable future aroused the curiosity of the 6 ancestors, who wanted to know if further into the future, the timelines would continue to be such. At the moment, Lin Yuan was still a life form at the heavenly venerate level. For these time life forms, viewing his timelines was still relatively easy due to the existence of a life level gap. Once Lin Yuan also stepped into the 13th tier, it would be extremely difficult for the 6 ancestors to view his timelines, possibly not even directly. In such circumstances, the 6 ancestors naturally tried to watch as much as they could while they still could. After repeated attempts by the 6 ancestors, they found that viewing up to Lin Yuan's timeline 3 billion years into the future would cause backlash. That backlash certainly did not only come from the timeline itself but also from the future 3 billion years later, where Lin Yuan would grow to a certain height or have a profound causation with such heights of life, bringing a natural counterreaction. At that moment, the Daling ancestor's expression changed. In the future timeline he saw, Lin Yuan had not yet entered the 13th tier, but he suddenly transformed into an immensely towering black dragon, lightly tearing open the wall membrane of the origin source world, arriving in the dimensional gap. What is this? The Daling ancestor scrutinized Lin Yuan in that timeline, and after a moment, his expression grew somewhat incredulous. In that timeline, the black dragon into which Lin Yuan transformed bore a strong resemblance to the abyss dragon from the dawn of creation, yet the difference in strength was as vast as heaven and earth. The aura the former emitted was nearing the 13th tier. Defu, look at this timeline. The Daling ancestor immediately looked toward the other 5 ancestors, proactively showcasing the timeline he observed. The black dragon that the galaxy venerate transformed into, likely using the abyss dragon as a foundation, yet this power. The 5 ancestors felt a mixture of suspicion and uncertainty. They were quite sure that at this time, Lin Yuan had not yet entered the 13th tier, but his strength, was it not extraordinarily formidable? Defu, when you presented that abyss dragon's heart to Galaxy, could it still harbor some secret? Xianin ancestor couldn't help but ask. During the meeting with the Galaxy Venerate, the Defu ancestor gifted the abyss dragon's heart, and these ancestors all witnessed it. What secret could there be? Defu ancestor fell into silence. He had long comprehended the abyss dragon's heart, yet even achieving the feat of opening up worlds within all his particles could not elevate the power to such extents. Otherwise, that abyss dragon wouldn't have fallen to his Defu ancestor. What's more, if that abyss dragon possessed the power of the Galaxy Venerate in this timeline, the Defu ancestor would never have had the chance to step into the 13th tier, and would have perished at the hands of the abyss dragon long ago. Yet, in this timeline, the means by which the Galaxy Venerate transformed into the black dragon should be derived from the abyss dragon. This indicates that the Galaxy Venerate comprehended methods and secrets within the abyss dragon's heart that even he, Defu ancestor, had never mastered. This Galaxy Venerate. Defu showed a complex expression, only finding that the Galaxy Venerate seemed more like a 13th tier time life form than he himself. Chapter 1256. Exploring the Second Source World. This is a good thing, the Defu ancestor thought to himself. Although in this timeline, the means displayed by the Galaxy Venerate are terrifying, morphing into a black dragon, with strength nearing the 13th rank. But the Galaxy Venerate is not an enemy of the Defu ancestor. On the contrary, their relationship is quite good, at least through Defu ancestor's efforts to make friends. The Galaxy Venerate has a favorable attitude towards him. Moreover, in this timeline, the black dragon the Galaxy Venerate transformed into seems to be the result of comprehending the abyss dragon's heart. And the abyss dragon's heart was gifted by the Defu ancestor, adding to the bond between them invisibly. The gap between life and life, how can it be so vast? The Thunder Origin ancestor exclaimed, originally thinking that 13th rank time life was already the pinnacle of all beings. But compared to the Galaxy Venerate, even time life pales in comparison. The other ancestors nodded in agreement. The more they observed Lin Yuan's timeline, the more a sense of despair welled up. Lin Yuan's growth speed is so fast, even making time life seem bewildered. If it weren't for this newly emerged Treasured Lands contest, making the ancestor of Fierce Sun and the other 5 ancestors aware of the Galaxy Venerate's existence. By the time the ancestors noticed Lin Yuan, he might have already crossed into the 13th rank. The stronger the Galaxy Venerate becomes, the more beneficial it is for us. The primordial ancestor of the barbarian wilderness remarked, according to the future glimpsed in the timeline, being an enemy of the galaxy venerate would surely be disastrous. But if one could befriend the galaxy venerate as long as the relationship isn't too bad, there would still be no negative impact. It's estimated that 300 million years into the future, the galaxy venerate will touch the level of the Time Lords. The Deling ancestor stated, in the future they currently observe, 300 million years ahead is considered forbidden, that period is locked down, anyone who dares to watch will suffer backlash. And only the Time Lords can achieve this. Originally, the ancestors speculated if Lin Yuan 300 million years later would have a major cause with a Time Lord, leading to his timeline being sealed. Now it seems the greater possibility is that Lin Yuan himself becomes a Time Lord. Time Lord. The other ancestors exchanged glances, their hearts filled with unspeakable awe. 13th rank Time Life observes timelines of future past, but theoretically future timelines are endless, regardless of how many are seen. It can never offer insight into all timelines, ultimately only nearing infinitely. Therefore, to break through to the 14th rank and become a perfect time being, one must first consolidate their own timeline, completely dominate one timeline, becoming the lord of that timeline or the Time Lord. The power of the Time Lords is unimaginably strong. Reaching the level of Time Lords means not being confined to one-dimensional space, but wandering between different external dimensional spaces. Know that even for 13th rank Time Life, other dimensional spaces are unfamiliar. A slight mistake may lead to danger. The ancestors observe Lin Yuan's future timeline, which Lin Yuan himself is aware of. When 5 ancestors visited him, they eventually asked if they could continue observing his timeline. In response, Lin Yuan agreed, as he also wants to know how certain his future is. Moreover, the ancestors promised if they found a particularly unique future timeline, they would promptly inform him. Heiyu Nest. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, refining several precious Heiyu. My current strength of mind willpower should have surpassed 300 million points, right? Lin Yuan opened his eyes. The first-class treasured land. Of course, Lin Yuan's. In fact, the role of Heiyu in this is not substantial. The enhancement of willpower mainly has 2 aspects. One aspect is internal. One aspect is external. Internally, it's the elevation of life's own strength realm, naturally nurturing stronger willpower. During this time, Lin Yuan's strength has undergone several qualitative changes, such as evolving the Chaos Yin Yang Taiji Dao, practicing Infinite Void to the 4th layer, stepping into the Chaos realm, etc. The surge in life tier and strength realm has naturally brought about a significant uplift in willpower. Especially the evolution of the Chaos Yin Yang Taiji Dao. This power led Lin Yuan to an all-around. As for external reasons, the Heiyu produced by Heiyu Nest is also considered an external. But the 6 ancient countries not only have Heiyu capable of refining and enhancing willpower. Other precious and rare items can achieve similar effects too. For example, the Dragon Abyss Blood, produced in Dragon Abyss Valley. Refining Dragon Abyss Blood not only enhances the mind's will, but also elevates the physical body and soul in all aspects. Through the contest over the treasure land, Lin Yuan traded with various ancient nations and acquired a full 100 caddies of Dragon Abyss Blood. Even if half of the 100 caddies of Dragon Abyss Blood are reserved for studying and comprehending, the remaining half is enough to significantly elevate Lin Yuan's mental will. Moreover, besides Heiyu and Dragon Abyss Blood, there are other rare treasures to enhance the mind's will. Lin Yuan has used his transactions with the ancient nations to gain numerous of these, and all were utilized in recent times. It must be understood, the enhancement of mental will becomes increasingly difficult at later stages, yet Lin Yuan experienced a 4- to 5-fold increase in a short period. Even if the primary reason lies in the breakthrough of his realm power, one can imagine just how many benefits he absorbed. 300 million points of mental will probably means I've reached the limit of the 12th tier. Continuing further, even with improvement, it won't be much. Lin Yuan thought silently to himself, feeling that his mental will was approaching some limit. To experience another exponential surge, he might have to wait until he crosses into the 13th tier where the essence of life undergoes a metamorphosis. However, 300 million points of mental will is enough for me to allocate some effort to try exploring the next source world. Lin Yuan always kept in mind the coordinates of those 33 source worlds deep within the Myriad Realms Gate. After crossing into the 12th tier, Lin Yuan's method of traversal appeared different. Traversals beyond the 12th tier no longer affected his true corporeal form, contrastingly increasing the burden on his mental will greatly. This meant Lin Yuan's mental will at the time could only bear the exploration of one source world. To explore a second source world, he would have to abandon the first one. But now, with the substantial enhancement of his mental will, Lin Yuan had gained the confidence to maintain the chaos void and the true form of the first source world while attempting to explore a second source world. The second source world. Lin Yuan's expression was slightly solemn. The reason he hadn't explored the second source world wasn't only due to the pressure of his mental will, but also because of the warning and reminder from the Myriad Realms Gate. The second source world contains unknown dangers, and reckless exploration could lead to irreversible impacts. Lin Yuan trusted the judgment of the Myriad Realms Gate, which is why he hadn't taken any action until now. But now, Lin Yuan's substantial gains were not limited to his mental will but also included his own strength. To be precise, the enhancement of his mental will originated from the improvement of his strength. And danger depends on strength. When strength is low, the danger is naturally high. When strength is high, the danger becomes low. I should go take another look now. Lin Yuan's consciousness immediately delved into the depths of his mind, looking toward the towering and majestic Myriad Realms Gate. Myriad Realms Gate. Every time Lin Yuan observed the Myriad Realms Gate, he felt something different, and this time was no exception. The Myriad Realms Gate felt as if it transcended the origin source of source worlds. More real than before. Lin Yuan closely observed the Myriad Realms Gate in his mind's depths, a projection of the true Myriad Realms Gate. Even though Lin Yuan had been acknowledged by the Myriad Realms Gate as its master, he couldn't withstand the arrival of the actual Myriad Realms Gate. Much like a small kettle, it cannot contain the vast oceans and seas. If I crossed into the 13th tier, even if still unable to bear the true arrival of the Myriad Realms Gate, I could at least touch a fragment of its consciousness to explore more of its functions. Lin Yuan contemplated, having now confirmed that the existence of the Myriad Realms Gate far exceeded the 13th tier. At least, compared to the 6 ancestors of the 6 great ancient nations, the Myriad Realms Gate felt far superior. It must be noted that this is only a projection of the actual Myriad Realms Gate. Let's begin. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and attempted to probe the depths of the Myriad Realms Gate, targeting the space-time coordinates of the second source world. Whoosh! Lin Yuan's consciousness followed the path of the Myriad Realms Gate, crossing unknown spatial dimensions, faintly arriving at a gray, hazy realm. No warning or reminder from the Myriad Realms Gate this time? Lin Yuan's mind steadied. According to his understanding of the Myriad Realms Gate, the absence of a specialized warning or reminder indicated that this source world posed no real threat to him. The so-called real threat refers to impacts linked to the true corporeal form in other dimensions. For Lin Yuan, as long as it doesn't involve the true corporeal form in other dimensions, even if the true corporeal form in this dimension perishes, it wouldn't be a major issue, at worst starting over again. This world. From the perspective of the Myriad Realms Gate, Lin Yuan began briefly observing bits and pieces of the second source world. Something's off. Lin Yuan's brow slightly furrowed, feeling that the second source world was permeated with a certain deadness, yet simultaneously possessed a strange vitality. Interesting. After just a brief observation, Lin Yuan's consciousness rapidly shattered. Since there's no real danger, let's descend directly. In his mind's depths, Lin Yuan gazed at the majestic Myriad Realms Gate, and after only a moment's contemplation, he immediately began traversing. The target was none other than the second source world. Buzz! The Myriad Realms Gate faintly trembled, and a portion of Lin Yuan's mental consciousness was instantly absorbed within it. Chapter 1257. A World of Despair. In a haze, Lin Yuan's consciousness gradually revived. However, it seemed that his spiritual power had been eroded and suppressed, causing his mind to remain somewhat chaotic and unable to fully awaken. Uncertain how much time had passed, Lin Yuan's spiritual power instinctively operated and finally expelled the corrosive aura. The result of this was that Lin Yuan woke up. Ugh! Lin Yuan only felt a splitting headache. At the same time, he began to receive information from the outside world. Oh? You actually managed to come back to life. To survive under the erosion of the demon, it's quite rare indeed. An old voice emerged nearby, tinged with astonishment. Bang! Countless pieces of information surged in Lin Yuan's mind, which were the memories of the original self. This world is filled with endless demons. Demons are immortal and eternal, existing in the world. To fight against demons, one must become a cultivator, and I am a cultivator of the Qingyun sect. Lin Yuan quickly sorted out the current situation he found himself in. This world is boundless, and demons did not exist since ancient times. They originated from a transformative heaven-earth event millions of years ago. Millions of years ago, cultivators ruled the world and dominated everything. But after that transformative heaven-earth event, the existence of demons appeared, with demonic qi pervading, obstructing the cultivation of practitioners, while also gathering a large amount of demonic qi, giving birth to terrifying demons. The Qingyun sect, where the original self belonged, was a cultivator force before the heaven-earth transformation, having undergone numerous major demonic invasions. However, compared to before the heaven-earth transformation, the Qingyun sect had already declined significantly. With the boundless demonic qi enveloping, the difficulty of cultivation for practitioners increased, resulting in fewer strong cultivators being born, and as the elder powerhouses gradually perished at the hands of demons, the Qingyun sect was trending towards a shortage of successors. Lin Yuan opened his eyes. He saw a ragged old man standing beside him, who was curiously examining him. Elder Fong. Lin Yuan moved his lips and began to speak. The ragged old man was an elder of the Qingyun sect, responsible for healing disciples injured by demons. Since you've woken up, I'll be on my way. Elder Fong continued observing Lin Yuan for a moment, then turned and left. This body. Lin Yuan watched Elder Fong disappear and began to sense the fine details of his body, immediately noticing something amiss. As the ancestor of martial arts, Lin Yuan's understanding of the body had reached an extraordinary height, and the body he now inhabited, although weak, faintly held almost limitless potential. I am not an exception. This is one of the effects brought on by the heaven-earth transformation. Lin Yuan thought to himself. After the heaven-earth transformation, the world undoubtedly saw the emergence of terrifying demons. But life in this world simultaneously had its body nourished and replenished, surpassing pre-transformation in both strength and potential. The body's strength brings a direct increase in power. Although the presence of demonic qi slowed cultivation progress, the body's enhancement was significantly accelerated. This is also one of the keys for cultivators to resist demons post-transformation. Without this support, the Qingyun sect would have long perished during past major demonic invasions, let alone persisted until now. With such potential in the body, cultivating it to the extreme might surmount the body of the Chaos Void or the First Yuan world? Lin Yuan marveled in his heart. Whether in the Chaos Void or the First Yuan world, Lin Yuan's physical form was already terrifying, yet the physical body in this Fong Yuan world could exceed the former too. What's even more incredible is that such a body has become widespread in this world. Of course, due to the inability to perfectly harness it, the life in this world possesses bodies with infinite potential, yet they utterly lack knowledge to utilize it. It is akin to primitive societies receiving nuclear weapons but treating them as stones. Lin Yuan regulated his breathing and was soon able to recover slightly, managing to sit up from the bed. Simultaneously, scenes flashed through his mind. Senior brother Li actually entered into the demonic path? Lin Yuan slightly furrowed his brows. The injuries he sustained were directly related to Senior Brother Li's entry into the demonic path. Senior Brother Li was the senior master of the Qingyun sect, often leading many junior disciples to disperse the surrounding demonic qi. A large accumulation of demonic qi could generate terrifying demons, so the Qingyun sect disciples would regularly patrol the vicinity to disperse the gathered demonic qi and prevent the birth of demons. However, during the recent demonic qi dispersal action, Senior Brother Li, leading the team, secretly absorbed and devoured the source of a dense demonic qi. This scene was witnessed by the original self, and Senior Brother Li directly acted, using demonic qi to erode that original self's mind and consciousness, creating the illusion of perishing at the hands of demons. The original self's mind and consciousness should have indeed been completely eroded and perished by demonic qi, but was immediately replaced by Lin Yuan, and with Lin Yuan's spiritual will, naturally resisted the subsequent erosion, which is why he appeared to come back to life in Elder Fang's eyes. Entering the demonic path, Lin Yuan's thoughts spread out. After the heaven-earth transformation, endless demonic qi poured into the world, having an unprecedented impact on cultivators. Upon witnessing the might of demons, two voices gradually emerged within cultivators. One was to persist in the current cultivation system. This group was also known as traditional cultivators. The other, however, was to enter the demonic path, becoming one who enters the demonic path. In the eyes of this group of cultivators, demons are immortal, and to confront demons, one must become demons, using demonic power to fight demons. Thus, the path of entering the demonic path emerged. So-called entering the demonic path meant that cultivators forsake everything, beginning to endure the baptism of demonic qi, during which they would be subject to many influences of the demonic qi. Chapter 1258. Turning into a demon? Essentially, it's nothing more than using the cultivator as a vessel to cultivate a powerful demon. Lin Yuan thought of Qingyun sect's assessment of those who turn into demons. Qingyun sect is a traditional cultivation force, absolutely prohibitive of turning into demons. At first, turning into a demon can indeed gain a powerful strength boost. But as time progresses, the erosion by demonic qi worsens. The minds of those who have turned into demons will quickly become distorted, further drawing closer to becoming a true demon. The urgent task now is how to deal with Brother Li. Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts, his expression solemn. Brother Li eroded the true self with demonic qi, aiming to silence and prevent the incident of him turning into a demon from spreading. Once he discovers I'm not dead, he surely won't let it go. Brother Li is the senior disciple of Qingyun sect, possessing Lord-level strength. In my current state, I'm no match. Lin Yuan shook his head lightly. What's more, after turning into a demon, Brother Li's strength will surge significantly, likely rivaling the Chaos Realm. In such circumstances, facing Brother Li's murderous intent, Lin Yuan has no ability to resist, unless he uses the world-breaking origin force. But the world-breaking origin force is a method that definitely should not be used if it can be avoided. It's a trump card of trump cards. Especially when unclear about the depth of this Fang Yuan world, rashly using the world-breaking origin force might bring unforeseen consequences. Forget it. Lin Yuan thought for a moment, immediately contacting Elder Fang, who had just left. What is it? Elder Fang quickly appeared again, looking at Lin Yuan. Recovering well? Why are you looking for me? Elder Fang, I have a major matter to report to the sect leader. Lin Yuan was certain Elder Fang likely wasn't on Brother Li's side. Otherwise, the moment he woke up, Brother Li would know, and would probably have already arrived. Thus, Elder Fang could be trusted. A major matter? Elder Fang glanced at Lin Yuan. What major matter? A matter related to demons. Lin Yuan said. Under the circumstance of definitely not being a match for Brother Li, the only reliance could be Qingyun sect. Demons? Elder Fang's expression turned solemn. Lin Yuan had already been injured by a demon. This statement had some persuasive power to Elder Fang. At least it wasn't baseless. Are you sure it's a major matter? For ordinary matters, disturbing the sect leader means punishment. Elder Fang reminded. Most of the time, the sect leader of Qingyun sect is in seclusion, used to increase strength, facing repeated major demon mountain attacks. I'm sure. Lin Yuan nodded. If that's the case, come with me. Elder Fong immediately planned to take Lin Yuan with him. Elder Fong, Lin Yuan said, "This matter is very important, absolutely must not be leaked." Lin Yuan worried that Elder Fong might unintentionally reveal it to Brother Li, adding unnecessary variables. Rest assured. Elder Fong glanced at Lin Yuan. "I know what's important. Regardless of whether Lin Yuan truly has a major matter, before the sect leader confirms, Elder Fong definitely won't say anything outside. Follow me." Elder Fong led Lin Yuan and stepped out. Space-time transformed. In an instant, they arrived at a grand hall. Above the hall sat a middle-aged man wearing a green robe. At this moment, the middle-aged man opened his eyes and looked towards Elder Fong and Lin Yuan. "Sect leader." Elder Fong slightly bowed, briefly recounting Lin Yuan's situation. "What is the matter?" The Qingyun sect leader looked at Lin Yuan, speaking calmly. "Sect leader." Lin Yuan glanced at Elder Fong standing next to him. "I'll leave first." Elder Fong hesitated slightly, then immediately turned and left. For a moment, only Lin Yuan and the Qingyun sect leader remained in the grand hall. "Go ahead, what is the matter?" The Qingyun sect leader spoke. "Brother Li has already turned into a demon." Lin Yuan didn't beat around the bush, directly saying, "Qing'er has fallen into demonic influence?" The Qingyun sect leader's pupils narrowed as he stood up from the throne. "How do you know this?" The Qingyun sect leader squinted slightly, making the surrounding space-time feel subtly oppressive. Li, the master brother Li Qing of the Qingyun sect, was being groomed as the future sect leader. Lin Yuan's direct claim that master brother had fallen into demonic influence was naturally not believed by the sect leader. "The reason I was eroded by the demonic qi was precisely because I detected master brother absorbing and devouring demonic qi." Lin Yuan looked at the Qingyun sect leader and began to speak. The Qingyun sect leader did not respond, merely looking quietly at Lin Yuan. "Sect leader, if this is false, I am willing to accept any punishment." Lin Yuan said, "I understand." The Qingyun sect leader closed his eyes. Yuqing Hall. This is the grand hall of the master brother of the Qingyun sect, second only to the sect leader's residence. At this moment, within the grand hall, Li Qing sat cross-legged. "To preserve the legacy of the Qingyun sect, I must rely on the power of demons." Li Qing thought silently. As the master brother of the Qingyun sect, he desired more than anyone else for the sect to continue its legacy. However, the demons in the world grew ever more numerous and powerful, and traditional cultivators found it increasingly difficult to resist them. The last attack by a great demon had nearly exhausted the foundation of Qingyun Mountain. Li Qing was well aware of the risks of falling into demonic influence, but it was the fastest way to enhance his power, without a doubt. At this moment, Li Qing was astonished to find that the array in Yuqing Hall suddenly shifted space-time, and an overwhelming power of space-time came down to suppress him. Not good. Li Qing's expression changed dramatically. He wanted to charge out, but was imprisoned tightly by the pervasive power of the array. "Master!" Li Qing found it hard to believe. Only the Qingyun sect leader, his master, could control the entire array of the Qingyun sect. Rustle. Space-time shifted. Li Qing was instantly brought outside of the grand hall. He saw the Qingyun sect leader high above. Standing beside him was Lin Yuan. "You're not dead." In Li Qing's eyes, there was incredulity as he realized Lin Yuan had survived the erosion of demonic qi. "Qing'er, stop resisting." The Qingyun sect leader looked at Li Qing and said, "As long as I can confirm you have no ties with the demons." Although the Qingyun sect leader did not believe his disciple would fall into demonic influence, matters such as this had to be approached with the worst-case scenario in mind. After all, letting him be thoroughly checked wasn't a bad thing. "Master!" Li Qing looked at the Qingyun sect leader, his tone a bit complex. "I have indeed fallen into demonic influence." The moment he saw Lin Yuan, Li Qing realized that his secret of falling into demonic influence couldn't be concealed anymore. With matters of this magnitude, no matter who said it, the Qingyun sect leader had to confirm it personally. "Qing, are you?" The Qingyun sect leader slightly shook his head, a tinge of sadness in his expression. Do you not understand what falling into demonic influence means? Master, I do. Li Qing nodded. But I also know that if I do not fall into demonic influence, how long can our Qingyun sect withstand the next great demonic attack? Master, you should be aware that with the current foundation of our Qingyun sect, even if we withstand the next great demonic attack, what about the time after that? And the time after that? Not falling into demonic influence, Qingyun sect will eventually be unable to withstand the great demon, but by falling into demonic influence, the Qingyun sect has a slim chance of survival. Li Qing said, falling into demonic influence will only create an even stronger demon for this world. The Qingyun sect leader shook his head and said, Master, you have to believe me. I can definitely resist the influence of demonic qi. Li Qing said urgently. Li Qing, you are already influenced by demonic qi. The Qingyun sect leader's gaze filled with disappointment as he waved his hand. Rumble. The majestic power of spacetime crushed toward Li Qing, wielding the power of the Qingyun sect's mountain protection array, almost reaching the perfect chaos realm level. Master, you don't believe me, you don't believe me. In Li Qing's eyes, a pitch-black demonic qi burst forth, attempting to erode the surrounding power of spacetime. But clearly, the current Li Qing was no match for the Qingyun sect's mountain protection array, and he was soon worn down to nothing. The current master brother of the Qingyun sect, the most hopeful disciple to step into the chaos realm, thus perished. Lin Yuan stood beside the Qingyun sect leader, quietly watching this scene. The things Li Qing said were indeed true. Lin Yuan also felt that Li Qing fell into demonic influence genuinely to save the Qingyun sect. Otherwise, with Li Qing's status as the senior disciple of the Qingyun sect, the future sect leader with infinite prospects, even if one day the Qingyun sect truly fell to the great demon, Li Qing could still escape. This world. Lin Yuan felt more profoundly the despair faced by the creatures of this Fang Yuan world. Chapter 1259. Secrets of the Demo. Without entering into the demonic, it is impossible to completely eradicate the demons. But entering into the demonic, ultimately one will become a new demon. This is the desperate situation faced by the lives in this world. The only way explored so far to erase the demons is to devour them completely. Yet the demons are composed of endless demonic qi. Devouring them is tantamount to entering into the demonic. This can indeed temporarily eliminate some demons, but in the end, the one who enters into the demonic becomes an even more powerful demon. Li Qing is completely dead. Lin Yuan watched silently, knowing that the sect leader of the Qingyun sect did not hold back. As the senior brother of the Qingyun sect, Li Qing must have left behind many life-saving measures. But these measures were all left in the Qingyun sect, and the moment the sect leader made a move, he also erased Li Qing's life-saving measures. At present, Li Qing was only in the initial stage of entering the demonic and did not possess the ability to be immortal. This is also the reason the sect leader of the Qingyun sect erased Li Qing without hesitation. Dragging it on would have more severe consequences. Swish! The sect leader of the Qingyun sect turned and took Lin Yuan back to the main hall. This time, regarding the matter of Li Qing, thanks to you. The sect leader of the Qingyun sect was saddened, but also knew, if Li Qing was allowed to continue entering the demonic, how much loss it would cause to the Qingyun sect. Any person who enters into the demonic would think they can resist the influence of the demonic qi before entering. But in the end, it only creates terrifying demons, making the situation of the cultivators in this world increasingly difficult. It's what I should do. Lin Yuan nodded. He reported the matter of Li Qing entering the demonic to the sect leader mainly for his own selfish reasons. If he was the only one who knew about it, he would definitely become a thorn in Li Qing's side. He did it to protect himself. Regardless of whether you should or shouldn't, it is a merit. The sect leader of the Qingyun sect looked at Lin Yuan and said, "What reward would you like?" "Reward." Lin Yuan fell into thought, then said, "Sect leader, I've been corrupted by demonic qi, and though I was lucky to survive, it is very difficult to fully recover. Next, I'd like to work in the Qingyun Institute. Indeed, the sect leader of the Qingyun sect nodded. Being affected by the demonic qi in mind and will, surviving with his original strength was a miracle, and it was natural to have severe hidden dangers from it. No matter what, Lin Yuan was a disciple of the Qingyun sect, and he reported Li Qing's entry into the demonic promptly. Naturally, the sect leader of the Qingyun sect would not treat him unfairly. All right, from now on you will work in the Qingyun Institute, and you can enter and exit all the institutes of the Qingyun Institute freely, said the sect leader of the Qingyun sect. Thank you, sect leader. Lin Yuan immediately responded. The Qingyun Institute holds all the secret transmissions of skills from the establishment of the Qingyun sect and even numerous transmissions of skills from before significant changes in the world. Lin Yuan being able to freely enter and exit the Qingyun Institute was greatly beneficial for understanding this world, and understanding this world and grasping its original cultivation system could likewise increase Lin Yuan's foundation accumulation. By the way, there's something you need to pay attention to. The sect leader of the Qingyun sect seemed to recall something and looked at Lin Yuan saying, regarding Li Qing's demonic transformation, do not spread it. When he suppressed Li Qing just now, it was in complete silence, without alerting any disciples or elders of the Qingyun sect. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. After all, Li Qing was the senior disciple of Qingyun sect, considered a leader among the younger generation. If the news of his demonic transformation spread, it would definitely cause a very negative impact. Lin Yuan left the main hall and soon arrived at the Qingyun Institute. The Qingyun Institute has 8 sub-institutes, containing numerous books and ancient texts. Disciples of the Qingyun sect who wish to enter the Qingyun Institute to view them face many restrictions and conditions. But as an officer of the Qingyun Institute, Lin Yuan can naturally browse everything contained therein freely. It seems what you reported to the sect leader was quite important. Elder Fong stood nearby, somewhat surprised at Lin Yuan. Becoming an officer at the Qingyun Institute is no easy matter. The Qingyun Institute is deep within the Qingyun sect. Unless the mountain gate is breached by demons, there would be no danger. Working here is leisurely and carefree, plus the treatment is not low. Generally speaking, the position of officer at the Qingyun Institute is reserved for disciples who have made great contributions to the sect. Thank you, Elder Fong, for saving my life. Lin Yuan laughed. You being alive has nothing to do with me. I almost gave up on you, ha ha ha. Elder Fong did not hide it. Under the corruption of demonic qi on the mind and consciousness, he himself almost thought he was mistaken when Lin Yuan survived against all odds. By the way, what exactly did you report to the sect leader? Can you tell me? Elder Fong was slightly curious. Elder Fong, just ask the sect leader and you will know, Lin Yuan said with a smile. The sect leader of the Qingyun sect had instructed that the matter of Li Qing's demonic transformation should not be spread. So Lin Yuan naturally kept silent. Forget it. Forget it. I guess this matter has nothing to do with me. Elder Fong shook his head. If it had anything to do with him, he should have known by now. Then you stay at the Qingyun Institute. If you're bored, you can come chat with me. After saying this, Elder Fong turned and left. As an elder of the Qingyun sect, Elder Fong needed to handle the complex treatment of injuries sustained by disciples, especially those related to demons. Qingyun Institute. Lin Yuan walked into the Qingyun Institute, observing the densely packed jade slips stored around, and immediately began organizing them. While organizing, he was also quickly browsing through them. Lin Yuan focused on records from before and after the transformation of heaven and earth. Before the transformation of heaven and earth, cultivators in this realm were divided into 9 realms of life refinement, 6 realms of longevity, 3 realms of freedom, and 1 realm of eternity. Lin Yuan quickly absorbed a large amount of information. According to the descriptions of the powers divided by each level, the 9 realms of life refinement should correspond to layers 1 to 11 of the Chaos Void, and the 6 realms of longevity correspond to layers 12 to the Path-Splitting Realm, up to the Chaos Realm. Cultivators at this level had everlasting life, equivalent to breaking free from the constraints of the river of time. As for the 3 realms of freedom, They should be a division at the level of the great saint, with the third realm of freedom equivalent to the level of the strongest venerable and invincible great saint. As for the one realm of eternity, probably belongs to the 13th level of timeless life forms. After the transformation of heaven and earth, terrifying demons appeared. Demons are divided into demon spirits, great demons, source demons, and demon gods. Each level of demon is directly equivalent to the top-tier experts of the corresponding cultivator level. For example, a demon spirit can rival experts of the 9th realm of life refinement. Great demons possess almost complete chaos realm strength. As for source demons, their upper strength limit is unknown, but every appearance brings the deepest despair to countless lives in this realm. Lin Yuan's mind world. And demon gods? They've never appeared, but at the beginning of the transformation of heaven and earth, when the cultivators of this realm were in their prime, there were instances of demon gods taking action, directly assimilating most of the most powerful cultivators. According to the speculations of later cultivators, the so-called demon god is the origin of the transformation of heaven and earth, and also the source of all demonic qi in the world. The so-called demonic qi comes from the breaths of the demon god. An endless demonic presence is the product of the demon god's essence. The more Lin Yuan read the records in the Qingyun Institute, the more shocked he felt. Demon god? If according to the power comparison, wouldn't it be equivalent to the existence of the eternal first realm? That is, a 13th level timeless life form. But how could a 13th level timeless life form fall into demon? Lin Yuan found it hard to believe. After the transformation of heaven and earth, in the continuous contact between cultivators and demons, much information about demons was obtained too. All demons acted purely by instinct, with no likes or dislikes, no self, like soulless walking corpses. This was also the reason why countless creatures in this realm have survived until now, because demons don't have the concept of extermination. They simply wander freely in this world, attacking only when they find a cultivator. If the cultivator keeps away, they continue wandering. And with the spread of demonic qi, the number of demons is increasing, and one day they will fill this realm. That time will be the day of extinction for all living beings. Demonic qi. Lin Yuan raised his right hand, a deep breath swirling at his fingertip. Upon awakening, Lin Yuan forcibly expelled the demonic qi eroding his mind and will, intentionally leaving a trace of it. At that time, he intended to study it well. After all, being able to suppress his mind and will for so long, this kind of demonic qi should not be underestimated. This power. Lin Yuan carefully observed the deep power at his fingertip, which constantly twisted, attempting to continue eroding Lin Yuan's body, but was held under control at his fingertip. It's not simple. Lin Yuan's mind flickered, dismissing the demonic qi from his hand, and fell into brief contemplation. Based on his recent observations, the so-called demonic qi should be a highly advanced form of power. Due to its bizarre nature, this power was called demon by the living beings of this realm. This realm, being a source realm, should have given birth to 13th level timeless life forms. But where are they? Have they been blocked by the demon god? Lin Yuan pondered, as the source realm level is extremely high, rivaling the chaos void. As long as the ages passed long enough, the birth of some timeless life forms is very likely. In the records collected in the Qingyun Institute, above the 3 realms of freedom, the eternal first realm corresponds to the 13th level timeless life forms. It means that timeless life forms do exist in this realm. But now, the demons still rampage, and the timeless life forms have not intervened. Demon God. Silently, Lin Yuan reflected in his heart. This is the known source of all demonic qi. Even for him, facing such an existence is quite pressuring. No wonder, upon initially entering the 12th layer, wishing to explore the second source realm, the Myriad Realms Gate issued a warning, as this kind of demonic qi erodes mind and will. With my mind and will at the 12th layer back then, it truly might not have been able to withstand it. Lin Yuan pondered secretly. The erosion of mind and will has severe consequences, potentially affecting the true self in other dimensions. While different dimensions can isolate causal moves, the erosion of mind and will involving memory means that as long as Lin Yuan remembers, he will be impacted. Now, no matter how terrifying the demons are, it's paramount to restore strength quickly. Lin Yuan exhaled lightly. Regardless of any danger faced, strength is the foundation. With Lin Yuan's methods, as long as he is restored to peak condition, in this realm, as long as the demon god does not intervene, there should not be much danger. Chapter 1260. The Great Demon Attacks the Mountain. Lin Yuan serves as a keeper at the Qingyun Institute, mainly responsible for organizing ancient texts, books, and jade slips. This type of position is quite relaxed. Generally, it is those who have worked hard for the holy sect for many years and have established sufficient merits. In the end, they are elders whose bodies have hidden troubles undertaking this role. Although Lin Yuan is not very old, he once suffered from the erosion of demonic qi affecting his mind and gained the sect master's approval. Being a keeper has been quite smooth for him. Actually, Lin Yuan also contributed to the holy sect by alerting about the issue of his elder brother falling into demonic ways early, helping the sect avoid great losses. While restoring his strength, Lin Yuan is mainly researching the physical body. The potential of this body he descended into is too strong, almost as though it is like the direct descendant of a 13th-tier time life. The potential is remarkably great. In the 6 ancient countries of the first source world, the blood of 6 ancestors flows within all beings. But it is incredibly thin, almost non-existent. Yet in this Fang Yuan world, the potential of the physical body is terrifyingly high. Before the great change of heaven and earth, the cultivation system of this Fang Yuan world was runes, interpreting everything in the world, including rules and the Great Way, using the form of runes. Lin Yuan gazes at the jade slip legacy left behind before the great change, his expression somewhat contemplative. The great Tao rules are originally formless, ordinary people can't see or touch them. Even cultivators can only touch them through feelings. However, runes are tangible, interpreting the intangible great Tao rules through visible runes. So before the heaven and earth changes, the number of cultivators in this world was frighteningly high. With a foundation of numerous strong individuals, the possibility of birthing even stronger ones naturally increases. Qingyun Saint Sect was the giant overlord of this area before the Great Change, with strong individuals of the Transcendent Realm keeping watch. And the Transcendent Realm, even the first stage of Transcendent, benchmarks the Chaos Great Saint of the Chaos Void. Yet after experiencing the Great Change and multiple massive demonic assaults on the sect, the strongest force of Qingyun Saint Sect is now at the peak of longevity 6th Realm, which is the peak of the Chaos Realm. With the support of the Sect Protection Array of Qingyun Saint Sect, it can barely exhibit defenses at the Transcendent Realm level, which is why Qingyun Saint Sect can withstand multiple massive demonic assaults. The Great Demon, directly on par with the terrifying demon at the peak of longevity 6th Realm, and even surpassing longevity 6th Realm in certain aspects. After the great change of heaven and earth, demonic qi pervades, the great Tao rules are unmanifested, and even with rune legacy, it's hard to perfectly interpret the vague great Tao rules. Lin Yuan senses the deep aura of power permeating between heaven and earth, his eyes suddenly brightening. Runes! In Lin Yuan's palm, strands of aura weave, and in an instant form the character gold. This gold is the text of this world's essence, belonging fundamentally to the gold rune, perfectly explaining everything about the golden rules. Marvelous, marvelous, marvelous! Lin Yuan exclaims with high spirits. Speaking of runes, the Chaos Mystic Pattern Diagram, collected in the 6 ancient countries' treasury in the first source world, is essentially runes. And the Chaos Mystic Pattern Diagram, left from a high-level perspective by an ancestor, even Lin Yuan had great difficulty replicating it. However, the rune legacy of this world can engrave everything within this world, transmuting the intangible into tangible, thus greatly reducing the difficulty of understanding, offering infinite possibilities. With runes as a foundation, I now know how to sustain the development of the infinite constant sand particle world. Lin Yuan's thoughts rapidly turn, as the true self of the first source world attempts to mimic the Abyss Dragon, creating vast worlds within each of his own particles. That abyss dragon, in terms of foundation, is still above Lin Yuan, relying on what? Isn't it just the endless sand-like particle worlds? If Lin Yuan can also smoothly imitate this, creating constant sand particle worlds, and then reconstruct them sequentially using the infinite void legacy, then the ultimate power, Lin Yuan doesn't dare to imagine, at least far surpassing the current state. That abyss dragon is able to simultaneously sustain constant sand particle worlds relying on innate talent, as the firstborn of primal life, a talent gifted by Source World. But I don't have this talent, so I can only rely on mind power to sustain the development of particle worlds. Yet mind power is limited, while constant sand particle worlds are limitless. Lin Yuan rapidly thinks to himself. The emergence of Rune Legacy made him see hope for simultaneously sustaining constant sand particle worlds. Engrave the Great Tao Rules runes on the surface of each particle world to stabilize the particle worlds, ultimately giving rise to endless constant sand particle worlds. At present, this method seems the simplest and most hopeful. Lin Yuan secretly considers, as the true self of the first source world repeatedly analyzes, he hasn't found a better way, either unsustainable long-term, or having too great a risk. Now, this world's rune legacy inadvertently perfectly aligns with Lin Yuan's development of his own constant sand particle worlds. It's not inconsequential. The rune legacy inherently aligns with any cultivation system, using runes to replicate the Great Tao rules and even have the world feedback itself, simply an ideal auxiliary method. Lin Yuan thinks inwardly. Start trying to develop particle worlds from this world. Lin Yuan decides internally, the potential of this physical body is sufficiently high, completely capable of accommodating the development of multiple particle worlds. Even if it fails in the process, Lin Yuan has already arranged means to preserve life and revive, capable of starting all over again. Secondly, developing particle worlds from weak to strong allows better perception of the operation of each world, greatly benefiting Lin Yuan's true self-cultivation. Chapter 1261. As for the current situation where the world has undergone a great transformation, and demonic chi permeates, making the cultivation environment poor, even possessing rune inheritance, it's quite difficult to perceive the rules of the Grand Tao. That's true for other strong individuals. Lin Yuan, possessing against heaven's understanding, as long as the rules of the Grand Tao exist, can smoothly cultivate rune inheritance. And even if the rules of the Grand Tao in this Feng Yuan world were completely suppressed by demonic qi, Lin Yuan could still perceive the rules of the Grand Tao in other dimensions. The so-called demonic qi is only limited to this Feng Yuan world. The actual impact on Lin Yuan is very limited. However, with the physical potential of this Feng Yuan world, what kind of physical body divine ability will eventually be nurtured? Lin Yuan found himself anticipating. The physical body of the first source world did not have high potential. The concentration of the ancestral bloodline was far from being considered royalty. The reason it could grow to such a height was entirely due to Lin Yuan's own cultivation. But this Feng Yuan world? Lin Yuan's descended physical body can be fully regarded as a direct descendant of the 13th caliber temporal life. In the 6 ancient countries, this is undoubtedly the strongest bloodline, even surpassing the core royal family. The current core royal families of the 6 ancient countries cannot truly be considered direct bloodlines of the ancestors. They merely have a relatively high concentration of ancestral bloodline. True direct bloodlines of the ancestors are very rare. Reaching the level of an ancestor, the limits for giving birth to genuine direct descendant bloodlines are vast. It's easy for an ancestor to have descendants, but direct descendants? That's quite difficult. Lin Yuan entered the Qingyun Institute as a disciple in the 2nd year. The physical body had completely shifted onto the martial arts evolution road, and then began to cultivate the fundamental power deep within the bloodline, nurturing new physical body divine skills. At least over 10,000 years to nurture. Lin Yuan was certain in his heart, following the rules of previous nurturing of physical body divine skills. The longer it takes to nurture the physical body divine skills, the greater its potential and power, such as the previous physical body divine skill, Fierce Sun Opening the World, which took thousands of years to nurture. And for this physical body divine skill, nurturing time is directly over 10,000 years. Lin Yuan could not help but feel anticipation. What exactly happened to this Feng Yuan world? What is this great transformation of the heavens and earth? And why did the physical bodies of living beings become so terrifying after this great change? Lin Yuan pondered over the strange perplexity. Enhancing the physical potential is not difficult for Lin Yuan, but to simultaneously increase the physical potential of an infinite number of beings in a source world, even for a 13th caliber temporal life, is as hard as ascending to heaven. Moreover, the increase in physical potential before and after the great transformation of heaven and earth is substantial. Thinking about these things now is too far-fetched. Lin Yuan's thoughts collected, his current strength not yet restored. Even if the truth of this Feng Yuan world were known, it would have little significance. Once he returns to his peak, many secrets will be clear even without asking. Name: Chun Tong, Lin Yuan. Identity: Keeper of the Myriad Realms Gate. Bonded talent: Heaven-defying comprehension. Divine power: Blood resurrection. Divine power: Fierce sun opening the world. Divine power: In nurturing. Current state: Consciousness descent. Remaining stay time: None. Unrestricted stay: I have plenty of time. Lin Yuan understood in his heart. Once stepping into the 12th layer, consciousness descent can traverse. As long as the vessel does not completely die, he can essentially stay indefinitely. Lin Yuan entered the Qingyun Institute as a disciple in the 4th year. The whole Qingyun Sacred Mountain started to faintly tremble. The Qingyun Sacred Mountain is the residence of the Qingyun Saint sect, and through the sacrificial refinement of strong individuals from past generations of the holy sect, it is no longer merely a mountain but an incredibly powerful great saint weapon. The great demons are starting to attack the mountain. Numerous disciples of the Qingyun Saint sect felt a tremor in their hearts, as demons are divided into 4 levels: demon spirit, great demon, source demon, and demon god. There's no need to consider demon gods. Apart from appearing during the initial chaos transformation, they haven't surfaced since. As for source demons, extremely rare, and even if they show up, they are attracted by the several eternal sectarian forces. Currently, the greatest threat to the Qingyun Saint sect is the great demons. Even great demons lack independent thoughts, wandering between heaven and earth like zombies. If any passing great demon happens to discover the anomaly of the Qingyun Saint sect, it will attempt an attack, known as the Great Demon assaulting the mountain. The Qingyun Sacred Mountain is perpetually shrouded in a breath-concealing formation. Normal demons discover no anomaly, but great demons are different. If too close, they might sense something amiss. Of course, if after a period of attacking, no further anomalies are found, the emotionless great demon will leave on its own. This means having withstood the great demon assault. During a great demon assault, the Qingyun Saint sect must not counterattack actively. Otherwise, it will attract more great demons, and even with its strength, the Qingyun Saint sect would be exhausted to death by one great demon after another. Great demon! Lin Yuan stood in front of the Qingyun Institute, looking afar at the gigantic figure outside Qingyun Sacred Mountain. That figure, surrounded by endless demonic qi, gathered a large amount of demonic qi, constantly hurling at the Qingyun Sacred Mountain. The shaking of Qingyun Sacred Mountain was due to the collisions of these terrifying streams of demonic qi. This great demon, each attack reaches a peak chaos realm and can swallow endless demonic qi, indeed very difficult to handle. Lin Yuan closely observed. More importantly, the great demon is nearly immortal, meaning even if a strong figure at the level of the free and wandering 3 realms took action, at best they could suppress the great demon, but to kill it thoroughly, not possible. In truth, this applies not only to great demons but to any demon. Even if its demonic body is obliterated, demons will coalesce again at another location. The only way to completely annihilate a demon is to become demonic, then devour the demon. Since the great transformation of heaven and earth, the appearance of one demonized person after another stems not only from the drastic increase in power from becoming demonic, but because only those who have become demonic can entirely eliminate demons. Roaring flames. The Qingyun Sacred Mountain sways. In the view of the outside Great Demon, the Qingyun Mountain is just a massive ordinary mountain, and after attacking for a while with no gain, the Great Demon shakes its head and strides away. The Great Demon has left? We've held it off. Many disciples of the Qingyun Saint sect felt a slight relief internally. Every time a Great Demon assaults the mountain, the Qingyun Saint sect faces the danger of annihilation. Any disciple, upon seeing that towering Great Demon figure, feels a certain indescribable oppressive sensation swelling in their hearts. Seems truly lacking in intelligence. Seeing the Great Demon leave, Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. If nothing unexpected happens, the Qingyun Saint sect won't withstand many more Great Demon assaults. Lin Yuan pondered internally. Though not yet restored to full strength, his vision remained keen, discerning the weakness in Qingyun's sacred mountain exposed when resisting the Great Demon's attacks. Eldest senior brother Li Qing choosing to become demonic in an attempt to save the Qingyun Saint sect wasn't without merit. As the senior disciple of the sect, Li Qing should be well aware of the sect's current plight. The source of this great transformation appeared in the world's center, the place where demonic qi erupted, temporarily held back by those few eternal sect powers. The great demons now threatening Qingyun Saint sect are nothing compared to the real danger at the center of the world. For a world like Fang Yuan to be plunged into such a desperate state, it surely wasn't a mere mortal danger. Torrential energies clash, but outside, to the great demon, the Qingyun mountain appears just a simple giant mountain. Attacking for a while without any further gain, the zombie-like great demon withdraws. This marks the successful defense against this great demon assault. During the great demon assault, the Qingyun Saint sect must refrain from counterattacking. Otherwise, it will attract more great demons, and at that point, no matter how powerful the Qingyun Saint sect becomes, they will be exhausted by one great demon after another. Great demon! Lin Yuan stood in front of the Qingyun Institute, gazing at the colossal figure looming outside Qingyun's sacred mountain. This figure was wrapped in an infinite, endless demonic qi, and at this moment, a great deal of demonic qi was coalescing, furiously pounding against the Qingyun's sacred mountain. The tremor of the Qingyun sacred mountain was due to these terrifying collisions of demonic qi. This great demon's every attack reaches the peak of the chaos realm, and it can swallow endless demonic qi. Indeed, it's challenging to deal with. Lin Yuan observed carefully, realizing that even if a strong cultivator at the highest three realms made a move, they would at best only be able to suppress this great demon. As for killing it completely, it's not possible. In fact, all demons are like this. Even if their demonic bodies are destroyed, demons usually wander back together at some other location. The only way to annihilate a demon, since the great change in the world, is to enter the demonic state and absorb the demon. The Qingyun sacred mountain trembled. From the vantage point of the great demon outside, the Qingyun mountain only seemed an ordinary giant mountain, and after attacking for a while without discovering more, the great demon sways and strides away. The great demon left? Lin Yuan remained thoughtful as the others in Qingyun Saint sect expressed their relief, knowing each great demon assault posed an existential threat to them. Upon seeing the towering figure of the great demon departing, all disciples felt a certain inexorable pressure lifting from their hearts. It seems to lack any real intelligence. Lin Yuan saw the great demon leave, contemplating in silence, knowing though his full strength wasn't restored, his insight remained, allowing him to detect the weakness the Qingyun's sacred mountain faced while repelling the great demon assault. Senior brother Li Qing decided to become a demon to try to save the Qingyun Saint sect, not entirely without reason. As the senior disciple, Li Qing would know the current tribulations of the Qingyun Saint sect. The source of the heaven and earth great transformation was rumored to be at the world's center, where demonic qi erupted, currently held back by those several eternal sect powers. In comparison, the great demons threatening Qingyun Saint sect are insignificant against the central world's power. Capable of plunging this entire Fang Yuan world into such a bleak scenario, it surely is no ordinary matter. With these thoughts, Lin Yuan returned to the Qingyun Institute to continue comprehending the rune inheritance, intending to integrate it with the development of the constant sand particle world. So far, 12 particle worlds have been created. Maintaining these particle worlds doesn't require the slightest effort from me, relying on rune inheritance as a foundation. It's just. Chapter 1262. Thousands of years passed. The successful development of 12 particle worlds signifies that Lin Yuan can continue down this path. Being able to develop and maintain 12 particle worlds, he can also develop and maintain 120 particle worlds, 12 billion particle worlds, even infinite constant sand particle worlds. But similarly, this will also give rise to another problem, and that is resources. The development of worlds is not created out of thin air. It requires vast amounts of resources to support. Compared to internal worlds and universes, particle worlds are much smaller, and the consumption of resources will be significantly reduced. But the quantity is overwhelming. Now, having developed 12 particle worlds, Lin Yuan can still manage to support it. But what about 120 particle worlds? Or 1200 particle worlds? Qingyun's Saint Sect? Lin Yuan thought of his sect as a hegemonic force before the great changes in the world. Even though Qingyun's Saint Sect had declined from repeated demon attacks, its foundation was still strong. If Lin Yuan were to acquire all the resources of Qingyun's Saint Sect, it could indeed support the development of particle worlds for a long time. But this is only a temporary solution, not a fundamental one. The entirety of Qingyun's Saint Sect's resources, even if it could support the development up to 1200 particle worlds, what then? Where will the resources come from for the development of 12,000 particle worlds, or 120,000 particle worlds? Besides, no matter how you look at it, Qingyun's Saint Sect is still the sect of the original self, and Lin Yuan is not willing to take too much. There still needs to be a stable way to acquire a large amount of resources. Lin Yuan thought to himself. In this Feng Yuan world, in terms of resource abundance, naturally it is the center of the world. However, today the center of the world is the place where demonic qi is the densest, and traces of source demons are often present. Until his strength is restored to its peak, Lin Yuan is reluctant to go over there. Even if his strength is restored to its peak, without a method to deal with source demons, Lin Yuan would also be reluctant to go there. Myriad Realms Gate. Lin Yuan recalled receiving resources from the first source world for his cultivation. He holds an extraordinary position in the first source world. Even the 6 ancestors would engage with him, thus acquiring enough resources to develop particle worlds was not a problem. But the key is sending items through the Myriad Realms Gate as an intermediary to another dimensional space, which requires the world-breaking origin force as a cost. For example, in several traversals before Lin Yuan reached the 12th level, he would often transport the origin clock and the mysterious gourd to the traversal worlds for his own cultivation. Of course, this consumed several strands of world-breaking origin force. Several strands of world-breaking origin force are indeed not much, but they were limited to sending the origin clock and the mysterious gourd, these 2 items. If the number of items increases or their mass becomes greater, the consumption of world-breaking origin force will naturally rise as well. And the resources consumed by Lin Yuan in developing particle worlds are countless like mountains and seas. Solely relying on the Myriad Realms Gate to send them over, the consumption of world-breaking origin force would probably be calculated in millions to tens of millions of strands. Forget it. Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. How much of the world-breaking origin force had he painstakingly accumulated until now? He valued each strand greatly, and if he consumed so much world-breaking origin force just to develop particle worlds, Lin Yuan would rather cultivate directly in the first source world. The resources for developing particle worlds should still be placed in this source world. Lin Yuan thought in his heart that sending resources through the Myriad Realms Gate was a cost too high, too much for Lin Yuan to bear. The resources of this source world. Lin Yuan looked up beyond Qingyun's sacred mountain. Since the great change of heaven and earth, what is most abundant in this source world? Demonic qi. Demonic qi present everywhere. Demonic qi? Lin Yuan's expression turned slightly grave. He had once studied demonic qi and determined that it was an advanced kind of power. Otherwise, those who entered the demon state would not have an immediate increase in strength once demonic qi began to assimilate. But Lin Yuan had not attempted whether demonic qi could be converted into energy and then absorbed and devoured. because countless strong individuals in this Feng Yuan world had tried, and demonic qi could not be absorbed. If forcibly absorbed, it would lead to assimilation by demonic qi, thus becoming one who has entered the demon state. The hidden dangers of those who enter the demon state are known to any cultivator. As the degree of entering the demon state increases, the emotions of the one who entered will gradually fade until finally, memories are swiftly erased, turning them into a powerful, zombie-like demon. Cultivators in this Feng Yuan world can't absorb demonic qi, but it doesn't mean I can't. With a subtle thought, Lin Yuan intertwined a deep power between his fingers, which was exactly demonic qi. Beyond Qingyun's sacred mountain, the pervasive demonic qi was everywhere. Obtaining a strand of demonic qi was no trouble for Lin Yuan. Absorb. Lin Yuan carefully observed this strand of demonic qi. Direct absorption is certainly not feasible. Demonic qi would directly erode the mind and will. Though with the strength of Lin Yuan's mind and will, he could completely resist it, there's no need to invite unnecessary trouble. Chaos Tai Chi Diagram. With a subtle thought, a Taiji diagram composed of one yin and one yang appeared before him. As a path of chaos power that Lin Yuan had evolved himself, with a mere thought, he could directly gather and activate it. Buzz. The black and white Tai Chi diagram rotated, faintly beginning to permeate the layers of spacetime around it. Lin Yuan directly placed that strand of demonic qi beside the Chaos Tai Chi diagram. The Chaos Tai Chi diagram, with its yin and yang, black and white, swallowed that strand of demonic qi like a grinding disc. The Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji Dao, originating from chaos, possesses the ability to transform everything into chaos. The strand of demonic qi was swallowed by the Chaos Tai Chi Yin-Yang diagram and was continuously crushed by the black and white grinding disc. But after being crushed, the essence of the demonic qi did not change. It remained demonic qi. Then it was crushed again. After repeating this process hundreds of times, that wisp of demonic qi finally transformed into some kind of pure power. Is this the essence of demonic qi? Lin Yuan's eyes lit up as he closely observed the pure power. Let's see. Lin Yuan immediately began to absorb it. It can be absorbed and refined. It's very suitable for developing the particle world. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. In this way, the biggest problem of resource scarcity in developing the constant sand particle world was resolved. However, the pure power formed after a wisp of demonic qi returns to its origin is really too little. Lin Yuan thought to himself, the resources consumed in developing the constant sand particle world weren't something a few wisps of demonic qi could support. It seems those demons. Lin Yuan was slightly stirred inside. The so-called demons are essentially bred from dense demonic qi, and the demons themselves are highly concentrated demonic qi aggregates. It's predictable that the demons refined by the yin-yang great grinding disc can provide Lin Yuan with pure power far beyond just a few wisps of demonic qi. I'll go out now and give it a try. Lin Yuan felt a stir in his heart and immediately left Qingyun's sacred mountain silently. Over the years at Qingyun Institute, with Lin Yuan's Against Heaven's understanding, he had long studied the sect protection array of Qingyun's sacred mountain thoroughly. Not to mention entering and exiting Qingyun's sacred mountain silently, even directly mastering the entire Qingyun array was no big deal. Outside Qingyun's sacred mountain, demonic qi wafted. Lin Yuan searched carefully and finally discovered a demon spirit. Although this demon spirit's size wasn't as majestic as the demon that attacked the mountain, it was also 1,000,000 li long, lying there quietly inhaling and exhaling demonic qi between heaven and earth. Not every demon likes to wander around. Many demons prefer to stay in one place, slowly inhaling and exhaling demonic qi. It's you then. Lin Yuan looked at that demon spirit, 1,000,000 li-sized demon spirit. How many wisps of demonic qi did it contain? Not to mention, the composition of a demon spirit is essentially a high concentration of demonic qi gathered together. Once such a demon is refined by Lin Yuan, who knows how many resources it would equate to. Quick battle and quick resolution. Looking at the massive demon spirit not far away, Lin Yuan directly activated the chaotic Tai Chi diagram for suppression. Roar! This demon spirit, which was originally sleeping soundly, suddenly felt its inhalation of demonic qi interrupted, and instantly became enraged. Demons don't have complex thoughts, but they do have simple notions like curiosity or anger. The so-called Great Demon attacking the mountain was due to its curiosity towards Qingyun's sacred mountain, leading it to attempt an attack. Later, when it discovered nothing changed, it lost interest and left. Suppress. Lin Yuan activated the chaotic Tai Chi diagram. As a disciple of the Qingyun Saint sect, he originally possessed 11th rank peak strength, and over the years of cultivation, his true strength had long restored to the Dominator realm. With Dominator realm strength, activating the chaotic Tai Chi diagram, not to mention a mere demon spirit, even a great demon would be forced to flee. Shortly thereafter, the million Li-sized demon spirit was suppressed by Lin Yuan. Refine. Lin Yuan drew the demon spirit into his internal universe and immediately activated the chaotic Tai Chi diagram, continuously grinding it down. Swish swish. The giant body of the demon spirit quickly shattered, soon transforming into the purest power, which was swiftly absorbed by Lin Yuan. In a way, I'm actually quite similar to those who have gone mad with demonic influence. As Lin Yuan devoured and absorbed the pure power converted from demonic qi, he thought to himself. The only difference is that while also devouring demons, Lin Yuan absorbs only the demons that have been ground into the purest state by the chaos Taiji grinding plate, posing no impact on himself. In fact, with the means of this origin world, there must be similar methods to refine demons and then absorb them like Lin Yuan. However, doing so, demonic qi turned into the purest power loses that rapid enhancement effect on strength. What cultivators in this world lack isn't resources, but strength to counter demons. Days later, Lin Yuan successfully refined that demon spirit. It's enough for me to develop more than 300 particle worlds. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. If a demon spirit alone had such an effect, how much more could those great demons or even source demons help Lin Yuan? Of course, in the short term, Lin Yuan will only target demon spirits and great demons. As for source demons, even if his full strength were restored, Lin Yuan wouldn't easily target source demons. According to the conclusions drawn by Lin Yuan from the various ancient books he saw at Qingyun Institute, the so-called source demons are most likely related to the legendary demon gods in some way. Recklessly refining a source demon might invite the gaze of a demon god. If Lin Yuan's speculation is correct, the demon gods of this origin world correspond to 13th tier time life forms. And judging by the behavior of many demons, it's estimated that the demon gods aren't particularly intelligent. Not like the 6 great ancestors, who would look into Lin Yuan's future timeline beforehand and then choose to form a friendship. Time to return. Lin Yuan immediately decided to return to Qingyun's sacred mountain. The vast energy obtained from refining that demon spirit was enough for Lin Yuan to cultivate for a period. And so, Lin Yuan would quietly leave Qingyun's sacred mountain from time to hunt demons outside, fueling his development of particle worlds. Time flew by quickly. In the blink of an eye, 1,000 years had passed. Chapter 1263. The World of 10 Billion Particles. Qingyun's sacred mountain stands tall as the old lair of the Qingyun Saint sect, the top hegemonic force before the great changes in heaven and earth. Inside Qingyun's sacred mountain, numerous small worlds have been opened up. They serve to cultivate fresh blood for the holy sect. Thus, despite much of the external world being occupied by demons, it has managed to persist until now. At the Qingyun Academy, Lin Yuan hasn't changed much compared to 1,000 years ago, except that his aura has become much more restrained. Steward Chen, they say demons are immortal. Is there really no way to completely eradicate them? A young disciple, having just exchanged the jade scrolls he needed, couldn't help but inquire as he looked at Lin Yuan. For a millennium, Lin Yuan had been living in seclusion at Qingyun Academy, occasionally offering guidance to newly admitted disciples. Over time, he gained quite a reputation, and many disciples were happy to consult him. Demons originate from the demonic qi of heaven and earth. If the demonic qi is not destroyed, then demons too will not be destroyed. Lin Yuan calmly said, to completely wipe out the demons of this world, one must erase the source of the demonic qi. The so-called source of the demonic qi is the legendary demon god. Having arrived in this Feng Yuan world for a millennium, Lin Yuan had learned many hidden truths. For example, if demonic qi were likened to sun, as long as the sun exists, demonic qi will flow ceaselessly. Even if a terrifying demon is completely annihilated, it will be reborn under the endless demonic qi. How can one erase the source of the demonic qi? The young disciple continued to inquire. I don't know either. Lin Yuan shook his head. Although he sensed all demonic qi originated from the demon god, he did not know the whereabouts of the demon god. In fact, even if he knew, he wouldn't attempt to erase it, given that the demon god's power capable of causing a world-spanning disaster surely matches at least the 13th tier level. All right, there's no need for you to think too much. Lin Yuan glanced at the worried young disciple and said offhandedly, The young disciple nodded and immediately left Qingyuan Academy. Just as he reached the entrance of Qingyun Institute, several other young disciples gathered around. Ouyang, what did you discuss with Steward Chen? The curious young disciples asked. I asked how to completely eradicate the external demons. The young disciple named Ouyang replied truthfully. What did Steward Chen say? Steward Chen said to defeat demons, you must erase the source of the demonic qi. Ouyang said, erase the source of the demonic qi? The group of young disciples pondered deeply for a moment. They did not doubt the answer given by Lin Yuan. Over the millennium, although Steward Chen from Qingyuan Academy never displayed any power or skills, he was perceptive and well-informed, to the extent that even elders from the holy sect would occasionally seek his counsel. Given Steward Chen's understanding of demons, why does he stay in Qingyuan Academy? Wouldn't it be better to go beyond and clear the gathering points of demonic qi? It's said that 1,000 years ago, during an operation to clear a gathering point of demonic qi, Steward Chen was corrupted by it, leaving certain hidden concerns. I see. Steward Chen has truly made such great contributions to our holy sect. The young disciples showed great respect. Being corrupted by the demonic qi has severe consequences, and few survive. Deep within Qingyuan Academy, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. The waters of this Feng Yuan world run deep, for those eternal sects in the central realms surely have time and life on their side. Yet they allow demonic qi to permeate. What is the real reason behind this? Lin Yuan's expression became slightly solemn. This was also the reason that 800 years ago, after regaining peak strength, he continued to hide in Qingyun's sacred mountain, unable to understand the details of the external world. And hiding in Qingyun's sacred mountain did not hinder Lin Yuan's cultivation and enlightenment. The Qingyun Saint Sect's collection of rune inheritance was vast enough for Lin Yuan to study for hundreds or even thousands of years. Additionally, Lin Yuan needed a considerable amount of time to slowly develop his own particle worlds. Coupled with the pervasive demonic qi outside, where demons lurked everywhere, whenever Lin Yuan was in need of resources, he would go out, and would almost always return with plentiful gains. For the cultivators of this world, every demon is terrifying beyond measure. But in Lin Yuan's eyes, so-called demons are just fledglings. Even for those as strong as the great demons, Lin Yuan could effortlessly subdue and then quickly refine them. If not for the fear of the demon god, he would have long ventured to the central realms to hunt those source demons. 1,000 years of cultivation, the Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji Dao has reached the peak of the first level. In a short few hundred years to a long few thousand years, it could step into the second level. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. The Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji Dao is his foundation. Even the means he uses now to refine terrifying demons rely on the Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji power. The stronger the Chaos Yin-Yang Taiji Dao, the greater the assistance to Lin Yuan. This kind of support is fundamental, nurturing everything about himself via the great Tao he follows, his body, soul, mind, will, and so forth, and the 13th tier inheritance of the infinite void. This lineage, honed through a millennium of cultivation, has also advanced halfway through the 4th level. A millennium of cultivation has led Lin Yuan to make substantial progress in all aspects, especially after understanding the rune inheritance from the second source world. which greatly aided him in comprehending many rules and great Tao. Of course, among all his gains, the biggest is still the development of particle worlds. By using the rune Tao to stabilize every particle world, and with the inexhaustible demons of this source world, Lin Yuan has now developed 1 billion particle worlds. 1 billion particle worlds. Though there is still a distance to his ultimate goal of the constant sand particle world, the support of 1 billion particle worlds to Lin Yuan is indeed formidable. Chapter 1264. Now Lin Yuan has 3 major true bodies of his original self, which are located in the chaos void, the first source world, and the second source world. But in terms of strength, the strongest true body is the one in the second source world, and this supremacy is indisputable. Even taking into account the advantages of the universe within the chaos void and the advantages of the fierce sun divine body in the first source world, they are far inferior to the true body in the current source world. I am different from the Abyss Dragon. The particle worlds opened by the Abyss Dragon are just ordinary particle worlds. While the particle worlds I have opened are each reconstructed through the Infinite Void Legacy. Lin Yuan was spirited. The 13th Order Legacy of the Infinite Void is a heritage directed at worlds. Any world can be cultivated, and particle worlds are also worlds. It is precisely because of this that even with the enhancement of merely 10 billion particle worlds, it's nearly comparable to the complete constant sand particle world of the Abyss Dragon. As of now, the development of particle worlds is all normal, but it's still best to wait for a complete practice to conclude. Lin Yuan thought to himself that now his true body in the third source world is a pioneer, exploring whether there might be any danger in developing particle worlds. If everything goes smoothly, once this true body has completely developed the constant sand particle world, that would be when the other 2 true bodies begin their cultivation. The reason the true body in the third source world is currently the strongest is because the other 2 have not yet commenced the development of particle worlds. Although the external demons claim to be endless, in the last millennium, as a result of my hunts, the number of demons has noticeably decreased. Lin Yuan thought to himself. A single demon spirit can provide Lin Yuan with resources to develop several hundreds to 1,000 particle worlds. A single great demon can provide the resources and energy for Lin Yuan to develop hundreds of thousands to millions of particle worlds. And so far, Lin Yuan has developed 10 billion particle worlds, giving an idea of how many demon spirits and great demons he has hunted. While demons do not die, should their bodies be utterly obliterated, even upon recovery, it requires an immense amount of time. It seems I need to expand my hunting range to slay more great demons, Lin Yuan thought to himself, as he continued developing particle worlds, becoming acutely aware of the vast amount of resources required. Chaos Void. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged in a certain desolate void, where strands of breath intertwined in front of him, continuously forming runes, each resembling a manifestation of the great principles of the heavens and earth. This rune Tao is truly effective. Effortlessly replicating numerous rules and great principles lowers the threshold for cultivation significantly. Lin Yuan thought to himself, feeling the intangible rules of the great principles and comparing it to sensing tangible rules. Naturally, the difficulty is different. Before the dramatic change in the third source world, the number of strong individuals must have been incredibly high. Lin Yuan, though unaware of the glorious scene pre-changes, deduced from the uses of the rune Tao that it was undoubtedly a resplendent era of cultivation. It is estimated that even those who achieved the third realm, comparable to the invincible great saints of the Chaos Void, appeared frequently. Keep in mind that even in the second source world, with the 6 major ancestors of the 6 great ancient countries aiding, those who could truly equal the strongest venerable among the invincible great saints were few. Sadly, the rune legacies currently mastered by the Qingyun Saint sect have been almost fully comprehended by me. To gain insight into more profound rune legacies, I need to seek out more powerful sect influences. Lin Yuan felt somewhat helpless. More powerful sect influences? The sect influences that have endured under the rampant demons are all exceedingly secretive. Finding their bases would be as hard as ascending to heaven. Lin Yuan knows the whereabouts of several eternal sect forces at the center of the world, but the risk of going is still too great. If possible, Lin Yuan plans to complete the constant sand particle world development before proceeding. Take it slow if it comes to it. I may as well comprehend the subsequent parts of the Rune Dao. Lin Yuan thought, given a portion of the Rune Dao legacy with his against heaven's understanding, he could attempt to create the subsequent parts. But it would take an immense amount of time, and it's uncertain if it would match the original Rune Dao. At least for now, Lin Yuan is quite certain that the development and perfection of the Rune Dao have undoubtedly gone through numerous 13th-order time beings. This simplification of the great principles is only achievable by 13th-order time beings who look high from above. 13th-order time beings? Lin Yuan did not think his understanding was lower than that of time beings, but their perspective is different, as is the scene they see. The Rune Dao created by them is held in high regard by Lin Yuan. Let's continue. Lin Yuan glanced around the desolate void. Centuries ago, he left the galaxy Chaos continent and traversed the Chaos void, attempting to comprehend the operation of the entire Chaos void. Of course, on the galaxy Chaos continent, he left an avatar, capable of descending at any time. And with Lin Yuan's current renown in the Chaos void, being the fastest in history to be certified with the title of Invincible Great Saint, this alone ensures the safety of the galaxy Chaos continent. No great saint dares to cause trouble on the galaxy Chaos continent. Qingyun's Sacred Mountain. Inside the highest main hall, the sect master and various elders gathered. In the past 1,000 years, the number of demons nearby has clearly improved. An elder remarked with a puzzled expression. Those younger disciples might not notice, but high-level elders, having experienced several great demon mountain assaults and cleared many places where demonic chi gathered nearby, occasionally encounter some demon spirits. The threat of demon spirits is far less than that of great demons, and upon encountering demon spirits, the elders are not worried. Given the sensing ability of demon spirits, they probably haven't even discovered the existence of Qingyun's Sacred Mountain. However weak demon spirits might be, they are still demons, and shouldn't just vanish inexplicably. What's particularly odd is that too many demons have disappeared without reason, to the point many elders found it unbelievable. Isn't the reduction in the number of demons a good thing? A few elders expressed some confusion. The fewer demons around Qingyun's Sacred Mountain, the safer the Sacred Mountain would be, wouldn't it? You can't think like that. At this moment, the sect master of the Qingyun Saint sect spoke, his tone deep. Most demons reside permanently in a certain area. If the number of demons in an area decreases, two possibilities exist. First is the appearance of a more powerful demon in the area, causing other demons to instinctively retreat. This would lead to a scene where the number of demons decreases. The Qingyun Saint sect master paused for a moment before continuing. The second possibility is that the demons in this area have been devoured, hence the reduction. With these words, all the elders' expressions subtly changed. The demons have been devoured? Those capable of devouring demons are most likely demon entrants. And demon entrants, as they grow stronger, increasingly resemble actual demons. A powerful demon entrant is in fact not much different from most demons, perhaps retaining fragmented memories, but emotions are mostly eradicated, to the extent that as they continue to grow stronger, even their memories dissipate quickly. A demon entrant? Has there been another demon entrant in our holy sect? An elder asked with a look of horror. Even they have noticed the reduction in demons in the area, so it's imaginable how many demons this demon entrant has devoured. Having devoured so many demons, even if the demon entrant hasn't touched the field of the third realm of freedom, it probably wouldn't be far off. Compared to external demons, demon entrants are even more terrifying, as they hide within the sacred mountain, and you never know when they might strike. Not necessarily, it might be the first possibility, or perhaps it's something beyond our consideration. The Qingyun Saint sect master said. In reality, none of the possibilities were favorable. With a reduced number of demons in this area and the loss of a considerable number of demons expelling demonic chi, the concentration of demonic chi in the vicinity will gradually increase, drawing attention from further, more powerful demons. Chapter 1265 Lin Yuan takes action. Golden Mist Treasure Land. Lin Yuan observed the operation of the origin source of the source world. 1,000 years have passed, and the irregular fissure connecting to the origin source of the source world has shrunk by 1/10. Yet it still does not affect Lin Yuan's ability to observe and comprehend. Rustle. Threads of rune breath interwove before Lin Yuan, attempting to thoroughly imprint the origin source within the irregular fissure. In the next moment, countless strands of runes collapsed. Failed. Lin Yuan raised his eyebrows slightly, without much surprise. Although theoretically the rune Dao can replicate everything, theory is theory, and reality is reality. Given the vastness of this origin source of the source world, unless Lin Yuan steps into the 13th level to become a time lifeform, it is entirely impossible to replicate it. Of course, Lin Yuan's attempt to replicate it via the rune Dao was mainly to deeply engage with the operation of the origin source of the source world. Even if replication failed, it wasn't entirely fruitless. Understanding the reasons for failure made insights into comprehending the operation of the origin source clearer, making subsequent comprehension easier. The strange treasures produced by this treasure land can nurture a time constitution, making it easier to comprehend the power of time, and even enable a vague glimpse of one's future timeline. After completely refining this treasure land, Lin Yuan had a deeper understanding of the strange treasures it produced. Over the years, he invested some effort into comprehension, roughly understanding the true use of the golden mist. The ability to vaguely foresee future timelines is perversely unnatural, belonging to the authority of the 13th level time lifeform. But for Lin Yuan, honestly, it's not very useful. His future is constantly watched over by 6 ancestral figures, completely unnecessary to use this method for glimpsing. Not to mention the vagueness and information discontinuities in the picture, it's exceptionally exhausting. I don't need it, but the other heavenly venerates are different. Lin Yuan's mind slightly shifted. The many heavenly venerates in the 6 great ancient countries surely don't have 6 ancestral figures watching over them at all times. They'd definitely be exceedingly curious about their own futures. Moreover, seeing the vague future timeline also serves as some kind of warning signal. Lin Yuan, being invincible across the 6 great ancient countries, doesn't care about any danger, but ordinary heavenly venerates do. In many comprehensive wars of the 6 great ancient countries, the number of falls among heavenly venerate-level powerhouses is quite high. If they could see images of their fall in advance and thereby take precautions, wouldn't it prevent a calamity? Heavenly venerate-level powerhouses possess various life-preserving methods. They would not completely fall, but being able to restore the main combatant corporeal form is quite good. These golden mists can indeed all be traded away to acquire the resources to open particle worlds. Lin Yuan conceived a plan. The second true body of the source world opening up multiple particle worlds has already consumed resources far beyond his expectations. With such treasure lands compensating, needless to say, the pressure is considerably lighter. To be sure, given Lin Yuan's status in the hearts of the 6 ancestral figures, just one word would suffice. No matter how much resource it required, the ancestral figures would retrieve it. But this all requires sacrificing interpersonal relationships. The ancestral figures do not give without reservation. Lin Yuan, asking for resources from them, needs to bear causality and return it when stepping into the 13th level in the future. Qingyun's sacred mountain. While Lin Yuan was opening particle worlds, he was also comprehending more cultivation systems of the Feng Yuan world. 3 realms of carefreeness, with carefreeness as the main characteristic. This level of experts is akin to great saint venerables, and the experts of the 3rd realm are benchmarked against invincible great saints and strongest venerables. Lin Yuan pondered secretly. The division of the great saint level in Feng Yuan world is much clearer than within Chaos Void or the first source world, explicitly defining the strength standard of the 3rd carefreeness realm. Rumor has it that in the center of heaven and earth, the strongest heirs of the eternal sect possess the power to sweep through the 3rd carefreeness realm. Lin Yuan pondered inwardly. These strongest heirs of the eternal sect, by description, should possess strength approaching that of Abyss Dragon. Due to the rune Dao, the cultivation threshold in Feng Yuan world is much lower than Chaos Void or the first source world. Rules and avenues are easier to comprehend, leading to more strong entities emerging. Beings born from the opening of the source world like Abyss Dragon in this Feng Yuan world within 12th level lifeforms at minimum can approximate, if not surpass or match. Yet Lin Yuan didn't feel too much about this. Approaching Abyss Dragon? As early as 1,000 years ago, Lin Yuan's offensive techniques had already surpassed Abyss Dragon. Moreover, after 1,000 years of cultivation and enlightenment, the so-called Abyss Dragon is merely a trifling matter in front of Lin Yuan, who has now opened 100 billion particle worlds. The rune heritage of the eternal sect powers. Lin Yuan yearned immensely, even though he had long surpassed Abyss Dragon. He had to acknowledge the might of this primordial being. The strongest heirs in the central eternal sect of this source world reaching nearly Abyss Dragon's level implies their rune heritage's intricacy far exceeds Lin Yuan's current level. Only this way can one amend the gap between later lifeforms and primordial beings like Abyss Dragon. Be aware, before the great upheaval of heaven and earth, the corporeal forms of beings of this Feng Yuan world were still normal, achieving heights nearly rivaling Abyss Dragons. It was already deemed incredible. Take it slowly, the rune heritage of the eternal sect. Once I finish opening the infinite constant sand particle world, I'll go take a look. Lin Yuan calmed his mind and once again plunged into cultivation. Extremely far from Qingyun's sacred mountain, an immeasurably colossal demon strode forward. It had vast wings. Its body surface held countless giant mouths, numbering beyond measure, consuming immense demonic qi flowing into countless giant mouths from all directions. Its pair of jet-black wings exceeded 1 trillion miles in length. All this was due to it minimizing the condensed demon body dimensions as much as possible. Otherwise, when fully extended, its size would be hundreds or thousands or even 10,000 times greater than now. Source! 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 This colossal demon walked, and innumerable demon spirits and even greater demons instinctively prostrated, calling out in a special language. Source! The troll halted its steps. A thought suddenly surged in its chaotic mind. It wanted to become the source. Become the source. Become the source demon. Just a little bit more. The troll's mind was filled with this idea. Now, it was just a little bit away from becoming a source demon. As a demon, its instinct would not allow it to devour its own kind to elevate and transcend. Demonic qi. In just a few breaths, the troll swallowed a gulp of the surrounding demonic qi and began to stride toward an area with thicker demonic qi. There, the troll looked in a direction where the demonic qi density was slightly higher than the surrounding areas. Driven by instinctive desire, the troll continued to devour demonic qi as it moved toward the area with the higher concentration of demonic qi. Qingyun's sacred mountain. Many disciples entered and exited the sacred mountain in an orderly manner, cleansing the areas where demonic qi gathered to prevent the birth of powerful demons. Heh! I found that eliminating demonic qi isn't dangerous. It's quite easy. Yes, over the centuries, I've swept through dozens of times and never encountered any obstacles. A multitude of holy sect disciples were chatting with each other. Don't be careless. At this point, a slightly older disciple spoke up. Indeed, over these centuries, it's rare to encounter any demon spirits, but we must not lose vigilance. After speaking, this disciple glanced at the others. Otherwise, if we do encounter a demon spirit, it could result in heavy casualties. 1,000 years ago, holy sect disciples who went out to cleanse areas of concentrated demonic qi were cautious. Once a demon spirit was encountered, it was a disaster. Any demon spirit had strength close to the 6th realm of longevity. For the elder-level powerhouses it might not matter, but for ordinary disciples, once invaded by demonic qi, it was virtually a 9 deaths and 1 life situation. The decrease in demon spirits might mean that the demon calamity outside is disappearing? An optimistic holy sect disciple couldn't help but say. Other holy sect disciples were about to join the conversation. Suddenly, an unprecedented sense of oppression swept over in an instant. All at once, every holy sect disciple felt stifled, as if facing an unprecedented colossal entity. At the same time, at the highest point of the sacred mountain, runes began to glow one by one. In an instant, The sect master and the elders appeared there. Rune warning? Is a great demon approaching? No, an ordinary great demon wouldn't trigger this many rune warnings. Is it a peak-level great demon? Or a great demon close to becoming a source demon? The hearts of the many elders trembled. A peak-level great demon might still be bearable. With the current defenses of the sacred mountain, there was some hope to fend it off barely. But a great demon close to becoming a source demon? If it's truly such a level of great demon, the only thought of the sect master and the elders is to hope it doesn't discover Qingyun's sacred mountain. Look! The Qingyun Saint sect master flipped his right hand, and several runes gathered, creating scenes. In the distance, a towering, sky-shrouding giant troll with massive black wings extending from its back, covered in innumerable giant mouths, was striding rapidly towards them. Wherever the troll passed, demonic qi rushed like a stream into countless giant mouths. In the depths of the Qingyun Institute, Lin Yuan was in secluded meditation, cultivating. The suffocating presence enveloped him, and Lin Yuan felt it too. What is this presence? Lin Yuan opened his eyes. A great demon. An incredibly powerful great demon. A great demon close to becoming a source demon? Lin Yuan's eyes shone brightly. For 1,000 years he had hunted hundreds and thousands of great demons, never encountering a great demon of such power. Where is it? Lin Yuan stood up, looked in the direction of the great demon, and suddenly disappeared. At the highest point of Qingyun's sacred mountain, the sect master and the elders watched the scenes of the giant troll with trepidation. The scenes formed by runes were a secret technique of Qingyun's saint sect, reportedly originating from the eternal sect at the center of the world, capable of silently scrying distant regions for traces of demons. This giant troll's direction doesn't pass through our Qingyun's sacred mountain. It should not pose a danger. After observing for a while, the sect master concluded, and the rest of the elders heaved a sigh of relief. No one wanted to face such a terrifying giant troll, so close to becoming a source demon. The pressure was immense. Ha! Just as the elders relaxed, those few who still kept watching the rune's manifestation suddenly had a change of expression, as if witnessing an incredibly astonishing scene. Chapter 1266. Crushing Step. Runes intertwined, forming a clear scene. This method originates from the eternal sect at the center of the world, a unique application of the rune Tao. Even the mighty source demon can't perceive it. The Qingyun Saint sect has used this rune projection method to anticipate the course of demons and make corresponding decisions, thus repelling the great demon attacks on the mountain time and again. At this moment, more and more elders of the holy sect noticed something unusual, their eyes fixed on the scene formed by the intertwining runes. The main subject of the scene is still that terrifying giant demon. Its size spans trillions of miles, with black wings on its back, covered in giant mouths, devouring vast amounts of demonic qi at every moment. Though the giant demon is terrifying, what's more unbelievable to the elders and the sect master is that now in the sky above the giant demon's path, a tiny figure has appeared at some unknown time. Compared to the towering giant demon, this figure doesn't even count as small. It's less than dust. If not for the giant demon suddenly stopping mid-stride, perhaps the holy sect elders wouldn't have noticed that figure. What is that? The sect master's thoughts flickered. The rune-woven scene rapidly expanded, and the tiny figure compared to the giant demon also grew larger. Chun Tong, the sect master of Qingyun Saint sect, was a bit stunned. As the rune scene enlarged, the tiny figure became clear, showing a young man with hands behind his back, wearing the uniform vestment robe typically worn by the Qingyun Saint sect's deacons. The sect master had a deep impression of Chun Tong. 1,000 years ago, it was thanks to Chun Tong that the holy sect's head disciple, who had fallen into demonic ways, was discovered. Later, Chun Tong wanted to go to Qingyun Institute and act as a deacon, which the sect master agreed to, after which no special news about this disciple was heard. The sect master didn't pay attention to this disciple, as the matter with the head disciple falling into demonic ways affected him too, combined with the need for stability in the sect's situation. Yet the sect master never expected to see this disciple again at such a moment. It's Chen Tong, a deacon of Qingyun Institute. The elders of the holy sect also immediately recognized Lin Yuan when the rune scene enlarged. Over the millennium, although Lin Yuan hadn't shown any particular strength, he had shared many insights on demons, which after repeated practice by many elders, were found to be true. With this back and forth, many elders came to know Qingyun Institute's deacon, Chen Tong, for his understanding of demons, sometimes even visiting to inquire about questions regarding demons. Chen Tong. Why is Chen Tong there? What's happening? Although each holy sect elder was deeply puzzled, they also understood that Chen Tong's abrupt appearance before the giant demon was truly bizarre. First of all, how did Chen Tong leave the holy sect? The giant demon is incredibly far from the sect, not to mention every disciple leaving the sect requires advanced application. Just traversing such a long distance is extremely incredible. Moreover, with the terrifying giant demon's power approaching that of the abyss demon, even its unintentional aura would suffice to suffocate someone as strong as the sect master. Yet Chen Tong remains there, calmly observing from above. As elders, just nearing it a bit would likely result in severe harm and terminal injuries due to demonic qi corrosion. The numerous elders looked at each other, their eyes fixed on the scene woven by runes. Amidst all the elders holding their breath, the terrifying giant demon in the scene clearly grew impatient. The surrounding immeasurable demonic qi hinted at beginning to boil, sweeping toward that tiny figure above. Not good. The sect master's heart sank, given the terrifying strength of the giant demon. If its sweeping demonic qi took effect, even he would be severely injured, simply not a match. The other elders' hearts trembled, instinctively putting themselves in Qingyun Institute's Deacon Chen Tong's shoes. However, in the next moment, they witnessed an unforgettable scene. The tiny figure above simply raised his right leg and lightly stepped down upon the terrifying giant demon. The once overwhelmingly terrifying giant demon staggered backward a few steps. Surrounding infinitely boiling demonic qi halted abruptly. With another step, the towering giant demon was directly stomped into the ground, half its body buried. Yet another step. The struggling to rise giant demon was again stomped deep into the earth. The last step. The gargantuan-sized terror of the demon collapsed feebly into a large pit, its magical body weakening, barely holding on. That tiny figure now withdrew his right leg. Compared to the terrifying giant demon, this tiny figure now truly seemed to stand tall. The trillion-mile-tall terrifying giant demon became just an ant beneath his feet. Deathly silence. The grand hall atop Qingyun's sacred mountain sank into deathly silence. The brains of elders, including the sect master, went blank. Many elders, upon seeing Lin Yuan appear above the terrifying giant demon, vaguely realized that this Qingyun Institute deacon was unusual, but never expected it would be so astonishing. That terrifying giant demon close to the source demon only lasted for 4 steps under his presence? It was clear to all. Lin Yuan didn't use his full strength, didn't deploy any killing moves, just simply stepped down 4 times, rendering the terrifying giant demon severely injured and near death. Chapter 1267. Crushing Step. Such strength? Such strength? The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect trembled in his heart. The terrifying giant demon approaching the abyss demon, its strength could likely rival the second realm and third realm experts to some extent. And Lin Yuan, who stomped this terrifying giant demon to death, how strong must he be? The second realm? Or the third realm? Even before the great changes in heaven and earth, during the peak era of this world, experts of the third realm were exceedingly rare, especially the third realm, which was considered the strongest below the eternal sect. The founder of Qingyun Saint Sect barely managed to enter the first realm. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect took a deep breath, about to speak, when he suddenly noticed Lin Yuan in the rune-woven image, seemingly sensing something, and turning his gaze towards them. Not good. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect felt his scalp tingling and unhesitatingly interrupted the rune operation, causing the image to dissipate instantly. The many elders present felt a strange sense of relief when this happened, as if being watched by Lin Yuan would bring enormous pressure. Demonic qi pervades. Lin Yuan looked down at the critically wounded terrifying giant demon below. He glanced towards the direction of Qingyun's sacred mountain. This sense of prying, is it a secret technique that operates based on rune Dao? Lin Yuan pondered inwardly. This sense of prying was extremely subtle, strong as the source demon could not feel a thing, but Lin Yuan was not a source demon. He was an existence stronger than the source demon. Very clever utilization of runes. Lin Yuan evaluated inwardly. Even he did not immediately notice being spied upon. Guess they've already seen me. Lin Yuan's mind was calm. The sense of prying came from Qingyun's sacred mountain, and he did not hide his actions against the terrifying giant demon. So the holy sect master probably already knew about him. Although his identity was exposed, Lin Yuan didn't mind. His strength had long recovered to its peak state. Plus he had opened 100 billion particle worlds, making this body the strongest among the 3 true bodies. With Lin Yuan's current strength, he could have effortlessly dominated even before the great changes in heaven and earth, let alone now. This demon. Lin Yuan looked again at the limp giant demon below. The giant demon's strength was formidable. In the chaos void, it would be considered great saint level, even more troublesome due to the demonic qi, supported by endless demonic qi, nearly immortal. Each step Lin Yuan took was enough to crush a great saint, but it took 4 steps to render the demon entirely incapable of resistance. This, of course, was because Lin Yuan didn't go all out. He hunted the demon not to kill it entirely but to refine its demon body, extracting its essential power for resource support to open numerous particle worlds. Therefore, Lin Yuan was cautious, fearing one careless move that could cause the demon's form and spirit to shatter. Come in. With a slight thought, Lin Yuan immediately transported the giant demon into one of his particle worlds. Inside, the yin-yang great grinding disc formed by chaos taiji power began grinding, constantly crushing the demon's body repeatedly. After finishing all this, Lin Yuan's figure vanished from the original place. The highest palace of Qingyun's sacred mountain. The many elders remained silent, watching the holy sect master standing above. Sect master, that elder? Finally, an elder summoned the courage to speak, unable to resist asking, naturally referring to Lin Yuan as elder. Qingyun Saint Sect, being a leading power inherited from before great changes in heaven and earth, certainly has its foundation, such as protectors. But even with the elders' rich imagination, they dared not equate Chun Tong with Qingyun Saint Sect's protectors. What a joke! If Qingyun Saint Sect's protectors had such strength, would Qingyun Saint Sect still be oppressed by demons to the point of suffocation? Any demon attacking the mountain would make the Saint Sect tremble? Protectors certainly can't act recklessly, but if they possessed such strength, why would Qingyun Saint Sect be so cautious? I also don't know. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect shook his head and said. He knew very little about Lin Yuan. Now seeing the other's strength, he found himself nearly ignorant of this disciple who loyally served at Qingyun Institute. But, in any case, the elder certainly holds no malice toward our Saint Sect. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect thought for a while and said, Indeed. Many elders nodded slightly upon hearing this. Indeed, with Lin Yuan's strength, if there were truly any malicious intent, Qingyun Saint Sect would have long ceased to exist. What should we do now? Another elder asked. The other elders looked immediately at the holy sect master upon hearing this. What to do? The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect exhaled lightly and said solemnly, Since our Saint Sect has such an elder in residence, we should naturally pay respects immediately. It was acceptable not to know. Now that they knew and yet did not go to pay respects actively, no matter how bold, the holy sect master dared not do such. Yes, let's pay respects immediately. The many elders nodded. Deep within Qingyun Institute, Lin Yuan had already completely refined that terrifying giant demon soon after returning. The endless demonic qi, crushed millions of times, returned to the source, transforming into an extremely pure energy mass. Enough to support me in opening 60 million particle worlds. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. A demon spirit could allow Lin Yuan to open hundreds to thousands of particle worlds. A large demon could provide the resources and energy for Lin Yuan to open hundreds of thousands to millions of particle worlds. And this terrifying giant demon, although still at the large demon level, was verging on a source demon, bringing unprecedented help to Lin Yuan, equivalent to the harvest from hunting dozens of large demons. Moreover, Lin Yuan carefully examined the pure energy mass, faintly sensing an extremely origin source aura from it. This aura, is it the power of the source demon? Lin Yuan speculated. He had never hunted a source demon, but this giant demon was just one step away from being a source demon. Certain parts of itself were likely already evolving toward a source demon. A pity. I don't have the time to wait for it to become a source demon. Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. Although the demon was just one step from evolving into a source demon, it was unknown how long it would take to cross that step. Thousands of years? Tens of thousands? Hundreds of thousands? Even millions? Demons' growth was undoubtedly faster than cultivators, but it also took time, especially the key evolution from large demon to source demon, where even a million years seemed little. If Lin Yuan had this time, he would have already gone to hunt a real source demon. This origin source aura, is there a trace of the 13th power? Lin Yuan carefully felt it and concluded. The 13th power was highly distinguishable, supreme over all else. At Qingyun Institute, countless disciples of the holy sect moved in and out at all times. But on that day, numerous disciples of the holy sect were invited out from Qingyun Institute. What's going on? Why are we being sent out? Precisely. I just exchanged for a secret technique and haven't finished copying. Many disciples naturally objected, but upon seeing the sect master personally appear outside the institute, followed by many high-ranking elders, they quickly realized something major had happened, and hastened to distance themselves. What exactly happened? Why has the sect master come? And so many elders, it seems all the elders are here. The sect master and all elders are present? How is this possible? Many disciples looked grim. Only on deciding the truly major matters of the sect did the sect master and elders gather. But now? Gathering outside Qingyun Institute? Could it be that Qingyun Institute relates to the sect's survival? Though they couldn't understand, many disciples dared not defy the sect master and elders' orders. All disciples withdrew from Qingyun Institute. The holy sect master steadied himself and glanced at the many elders behind him. At this moment, all elders were also respectful. From the rune-woven image, they understood precisely the terrifying presence they were about to pay respects to, naturally daring not show any disrespect. The 2638th generation sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect, with 456 elders, pays respects to the elder. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect bowed towards the depths of Qingyun Institute and said respectfully. Chapter 1268. Exploration and Gains. The sect master of Qingyun Saint Sect was unsure if Lin Yuan was still inside Qingyun Institute. But if he wanted to meet this elder, there was no other place to go except Qingyun Institute. With Lin Yuan's strength, even if he wasn't currently at Qingyun Institute, he would surely be aware of everything happening here, and their visit would not go unnoticed. Thus, after expressing his respectful intention to meet, the sect master quietly stood in place. If Lin Yuan wanted to see them, they naturally could meet. If he did not wish to meet, the sect master wouldn't dare to force it. It's unknown how much time had passed. A voice echoed beside the sect master's ear. It also sounded in the ears of 456 elders. Come in. Yes. The sect master's mind steadied. Through this response, he was assured that Lin Yuan bore no malice toward Qingyun Saint Sect and perhaps even had goodwill. Otherwise, he wouldn't agree to their visit. Soon thereafter, the sect master and numerous elders stepped into the depths of Qingyun Institute. Here, as they proceeded further inside, the sect master's expression slightly changed, for he could no longer sense the presence of the outside world. As the sect master, he could control Qingyun's sacred mountain at any time, but now he can't detect it, as if this place was completely isolated from the external world. The elder's mastery over time and space. The sect master trembled in shock. opening up such an independent space within Qingyun's sacred mountain? Such a method was akin to constructing one's den under a tiger's nose. As sect master, he could command everything within the holy sect in a single thought, yet for so many years he had detected nothing. If Lin Yuan truly harbored any intent to harm the holy sect, he wouldn't be able to resist in the slightest, not even able to react. The sect master and the elders didn't walk for long. Soon they arrived at a broad space. Sitting cross-legged in the center was a figure, none other than Lin Yuan. "Greetings, elder." The sect master immediately bowed. Hundreds of elders behind him likewise bowed. Lin Yuan nodded, then casually asked, "For what reason are you seeking me?" "Elder, not long ago, I used the sect's inherited rune exploration technique and saw that giant demon." The sect master spoke honestly, without hiding Lin Yuan's action that he had glimpsed. In fact, at the end of the rune-spun image, the sect master realized Lin Yuan had already noticed their spying. To hide it at this point would be purely foolish. "I've come this time to thank the elder for years of shielding our holy sect." The sect master expressed his gratitude. "No problem." Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. For 1,000 years, he continued wiping out nearby demon spirits and great demons, significantly reducing the casualties when the holy sect's disciples went out to hunt, which could be considered a form of protection. And given Lin Yuan's character, if Qingyun Saint sect ever truly faced a life-and-death crisis after he regained his strength, he would not ignore it. With Lin Yuan's power, unless besieged by a group of source demons, Qingyun Saint sect would likely remain as stable as a mountain. Therefore, the phrase "no problem" was completely justified. "That rune exploration secret technique?" Lin Yuan asked with interest. He was quite intrigued by the use of runes, feeling it had an intriguing origin, seemingly not created by the Qingyun Saint sect. After all, the founder of Qingyun Saint sect was merely a strong cultivator of the first realm, roughly equivalent to a chaos great saint. How could such a figure have developed a spying secret technique that almost fooled him? "Elder, that rune Tao of the spying secret technique originated from the eternal sect at the center of heaven and earth." The sect master immediately replied. "Eternal sect?" Lin Yuan looked at the sect master of the holy sect. According to the information he knew, the eternal sect was a force with a 13th realm time-life residing within it. At the dawn of heaven and earth's transformation, the origin of endless demonic qi emerged within the realm of the eternal sect, and even now countless demons wreak havoc in the world, but the most powerful source demons mainly concentrate in the center of heaven and earth, restrained by the eternal sect. "Indeed." The sect master nodded and said, "At the beginning of heaven and earth's transformation, the eternal sect often dispatched envoys to travel among our sects, providing some support. That secret technique was given by the eternal sect, specifically used to explore great demons and demons above them. It's just a pity that it's been a long time since the last envoy came." The sect master sighed, speculating that the eternal sect was under significant pressure now and unable to tend to minor factions like theirs. "I see." Lin Yuan nodded. No wonder he almost didn't detect the spying secret technique. It turns out it came from the eternal sect. "Can you give me those secret techniques?" Lin Yuan said directly. These secret techniques from the eternal sect were absolutely not stored within Qingyun Institute, and Lin Yuan had no way to know them. "All right." The sect master of the holy sect took out a jade slip, which contained all secret techniques from the eternal sect. For Qingyun Saint sect, no matter how many secret techniques there are, they cannot compare to Lin Yuan's protection. Seeing Lin Yuan begin to explore the secret techniques within the jade slip, the sect master and all the elders immediately wisely retreated. "Marvelous, truly marvelous." Lin Yuan roughly browsed through the secret techniques in the jade slip, his eyes shining slightly. The application of these secret techniques to the rune Tao had reached an unbelievable level. Even Lin Yuan was deeply moved upon first sight. 13th level. These secret techniques must have been crafted by someone at the 13th level. Lin Yuan affirmed in his mind. He vaguely perceived the perspective of the 13th level time life from these secret techniques. Only a strong figure capable of observing every timeline at the 13th level could create such perfect secret techniques. Eternal sect. Lin Yuan looked up at the center of the world, then immediately continued to comprehend. After spending half the day, Lin Yuan had essentially comprehended the dozens of rune secret skills recorded in the Jade Slip. These secret techniques cover various aspects, enough to show that at the beginning of the great change of heaven and earth, the Eternal Sect indeed plans to help numerous sects and forces to overcome their difficulties. The inheritance of Rune Dao is truly profound. Lin Yuan felt deeply moved, originally thinking that his understanding of the Rune Dao, though not at the level of complete comprehension, had gotten him most of the way, yet now seeing these dozens of secret techniques from the Eternal Sect. Lin Yuan then realized he was still far from comprehending the Rune Dao fully. The two primordial spirits have already explored to very distant regions. Lin Yuan gazed deeply, ever since discovering a lack of demon quantities nearby. Lin Yuan sent out the two primordial spirits to explore further regions, firstly to hunt more demons, secondly to find forces similar to Qingyun Saint Sect, and then obtain corresponding rune inheritances. This was also the reason for deploying his true self when terrifying demons appeared. With the two primordial spirits not by his side, as for recomposing them, there's no need. Continue developing the particle worlds. Lin Yuan pulled back his thoughts. Having just refined the terrifying demon close to Source Demon, resources were abundant. For every particle world developed, Lin Yuan's strength would gain slightly. In a place extremely distant from Qingyun Sacred Mountain, Lin Yuan Tai-Yin primordial spirit sat cross-legged, sending avatars to explore in all directions. The strength of the avatars was far inferior to the true self, primarily for paving the way. They would handle whatever they could, and if it couldn't be handled, the Tai-Yin primordial spirit would step in. Using avatars in a carpet exploration was currently the most efficient method Lin Yuan could think of. Even if encountering danger, dissolving the avatars was sufficient. According to ancient records collected by Qingyun Institute, before the great change in heaven and earth, the forces in this Feng Yuan world were divided into 5 levels. Lin Yuan contemplated. The first level, naturally, is the Eternal Sect, with a 13th level time life presiding, eternal and immortal. The second level of forces is the Supreme Saint Sect, with a transcendental third realm strong figure presiding, which is equivalent to the invincible Great Saint, strongest venerable level strong figures. The third level would be ordinary saints like Qingyun Saint Sect, founded by someone who stepped into the transcendent 3 realms. In fact, Qingyun Saint Sect barely entered this level. For the 4th and 5th levels, they were forces established by longevity 6 realms strong figures, numerous in quantity. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. In this Feng Yuan world, due to the widespread Rune Dao, there were many longevity 6 realms strong figures. Only by stepping into transcendent 3 realms could one be considered ascending to heaven. But after exploring for so long, even the 2nd level Supreme Saint Sect forces, let alone 3rd level Saint forces, haven't been discovered. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. He wanted to discover forces that had been broken by demons. As for those that could still continue their inheritance, those were basically hidden deeply, making them extremely difficult to find. Forces and sects broken by demons certainly would not leave any cultivators, but many inheritances, especially Rune Dao inheritances, would likely have remains. Those demons had no interest in inheritance. They only craved to devour life. And when a sect force was broken, the sect master often leaves a glimmer of hope for the sect inheritance, at least allowing future cultivators who get close to discover their own inheritance. Over the years, apart from hunting demons, Lin Yuan's 2 primordial spirits, when exploring externally, also searched for forces that were broken by demons to gain the remaining Rune Dao inheritance. However, so far, the 4 sites Lin Yuan discovered were all 4th level and 5th level sects. Even if there were rune inheritances remaining, they didn't help Lin Yuan much. Lin Yuan aspired to obtain higher level sect force sites, at least saint level sect sites. Sadly, after the Great Change, all major sects controlled the migration of their main bases to avoid the demon disaster, causing pre-change maps to be useless. Only forces like the Eternal Sect have means to detect the exact positions of some sect forces. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. For instance, the Qingyun Saint Sect, Their main base, Qingyun's Sacred Mountain, was a weapon at the transcendent three realms level, even able to take all sect disciples away in times of necessity. Take it slow. Lin Yuan was not anxious, always monitoring the exploration results of numerous avatars. Suddenly, Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly. One of his avatars discovered a sect site. This site had extremely chaotic time and space. Even after being completely broken by demons over billions of years, it was slowly recovering. The numerous grand formations of the site began to revive. This site is extraordinary indeed. Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed, carefully observing the distant site. Chapter 1269. Time Lord. The protective array of this ruin once faced complete destruction. More than once. But every time after destruction, it could slowly recover? Lin Yuan observed carefully. Shortly after discovering this sect's ruin, his Taiyin primordial spirit had arrived. At least, it's the ruin of a Saint Sect level force. Its foundation is far more terrifying than the Qingyun Saint Sect. Lin Yuan pondered to himself. The Feng Yuan world defines Saint Sect level forces as those with strong figures at the third realm in charge. The third realm aligns with the great saints of the Chaos Void, as well as the heavenly venerates of the first source world. Among them, the third realm is the threshold for the Supreme Saint Sect, a second-tier force in this world. Beneath the Supreme Saint Sect are the Saint Sect level forces. Among the Saint Sect level forces, there are distinctions between higher and lower tiers. For instance, the Qingyun Saint Sect is considered a weaker Saint Sect. Its founder just barely reached the third realm. After the great change in the world, the current strongest of Qingyun Saint Sect is no longer at the third realm, but at the peak of longevity sixth realm. The peak of longevity sixth realm corresponds to the peak revered ones of the Chaos Void. Logically, Qingyun Saint Sect should have lost its status as a Saint Sect long ago. But due to the magic disaster, they were able to continue their title as a Saint Sect. It must be the work of a source demon. Lin Yuan observed the traces near the ruin, among which a critical strike almost penetrating the protective sect array faintly had traces of demonic qi dissipating. It was at least from a source demon-level magic that could cause such an occurrence. Source demon. Lin Yuan was not too surprised. Most source demons are gathered in the center of the world, but it doesn't mean there are no traces of source demons elsewhere. It's just that their numbers are extremely low. Lin Yuan observed from outside for a while, then walked inside. The protective sect array of this ruin hadn't recovered yet, making it impossible to stop Lin Yuan. Soon, Lin Yuan reached the deepest part of the ruin. It was empty, only a statue stood firm. Runes? Lin Yuan saw beneath the statue, inscribed with dozens of runes, with slight movement of the mind. Extending from these dozens of runes, 3 final runes came forth. During the invasion of magic disasters, many sect forces, before their sect gates were broken by magic, generally would leave their core legacies to be passed on to future cultivators. After all, magic is not interested in cultivation legacies, and to unlock a legacy you need to rely on Rune Dao, which magic obviously cannot achieve. Of course, some sect forces leave tests beyond the core legacy, for filtering purposes, since many legacies aren't suited for every cultivator. As Lin Yuan extended the final 3 runes, the whole statue began to vibrate slightly, and a figure of a man wearing a dark red cloak emerged. Descendant. The man in the dark red cloak looked at Lin Yuan. My name is Li Hong. I don't know how long it has been since you saw my imprint, whether the magic disaster has ended, but in my era, the magic disaster just began 1 trillion years ago. I am currently being hunted by a source demon. Probably can't hold on much longer. Li Hong? The founder of Li Hong Saint Sect. Lin Yuan thought to himself. As a Saint Sect before the great change in the world, Qingyun Saint Sect naturally documented detailed information about other Saint Sects. Among them, Li Hong Saint Sect is quite renowned. Its founder Li Hong was a powerhouse at the peak of the second realm. That source demon is too powerful. I feel not even the eternal sun can compare. I have no power to resist, only to keep fleeing, said Li Hong, in a dark red cloak. The so-called eternal sun is the strongest heir of each major eternal sect, possessing strength that surpasses the third realm. Stronger than the eternal sun? Lin Yuan was shocked. The eternal sun had approached the abyss dragon. Stronger than the eternal sun? Wouldn't that be equivalent to or surpassing the abyss dragon? How is this possible? The abyss dragon was the first being born in the first source world, carrying countless opportunities and karma, possessing terrifying talent. The eternal sons of this source world, through special rune legacies and the dedication of each 13th level powerhouse, reached a degree close to the abyss dragon, which can be understood. But to be equivalent or surpassing the abyss dragon, how is this possible? Even Lin Yuan found it hard to comprehend. He could easily surpass the abyss dragon because he had a different dimension's heavenly Tao comprehension and against heaven's understanding. But source demon? What exactly is magic? Lin Yuan frowned slightly. For 1,000 years, he hunted many demon spirits, great demons, but still hadn't completely figured out this existence. It's said that when killed by a source demon, magic chi would infiltrate the mind and will. No amount of split avatars or life-saving measures are useful. As for self-destruction, as long as there exists a causal connection, a source demon will relentlessly pursue. Li Hong said with a calm expression. Since I embarked on the cultivation path, I have never felt such oppression. Lin Yuan listened. Regarding the various means of source demons, he had seen ancient records documented in Qingyun Saint sect. Since death is unavoidable, I have left this statue in advance, containing the path of my legacy, especially the rune Tao, which is the Tao handed down by each eternal lord. Li Hong continued. The eternal lord is the term this source world's beings use for 13th level time-based life forms. Different worlds have different terms for 13th level time-based life forms. For example, in the first source world, time-based life forms regard themselves as ancestors. Chapter 1270, Time Lord. Rune Tao. Lin Yuan immediately listened attentively. Although Li Hong wasn't as powerful as Lin Yuan, as a peak second realm wanderer, his understanding of runes certainly had unique insights, especially since he had met with several eternal lords and received their guidance. His comprehension of runes would surely surpass that of the Qingyun Saint sect. I have listened to the sermons of the eternal lords many times. The cloaked in a dark red cloak Li Hong smiled slightly and said, each eternal lord's understanding of the rune Tao is profound and vast, sufficient for us to research for a lifetime. Lin Yuan listened silently. The Li Hong in front of him was only an imprint, without consciousness, and everything he said was a fixed program. So Lin Yuan didn't plan to ask questions. But among all the eternal lords, it is the Lord of Heaven Light's understanding of the rune Tao that I admire the most, said Li Hong, clad in a dark red cloak. I don't mean to belittle the other lords, but I feel that the rune Tao articulated by the Lord of Heaven Light is the most perfect. Li Hong paused for a while, as if lost in some kind of memory, and continued after a long time. The ultimate pursuit of the Lord of Heaven Light in the understanding of the rune Tao is omnipotence. Omnipotence. Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly. Indeed, omnipotence. Li Hong's look exuded awe. For instance, if you wish to recreate the vast world we are in, you can use the rune Tao to open and reproduce it. If you want to revive a past fallen strong third realm wanderer, you can achieve that with the power of runes. The ultimate pursuit of the rune Tao as understood by the Lord of Heaven Light is omnipotence, using the rune Tao to accomplish anything. Even intending to completely kill another eternal lord can be done. Eternal lords foresee the future and can see various possibilities for themselves. It is extremely difficult to kill an eternal lord, but if one comprehends the rune Tao to its utmost, reaching the theoretical level of omnipotence, it is possible to completely kill an eternal lord. Not only that, but using the omnipotent rune Tao, one could even create a new eternal lord. Of course, even the Lord of Heaven Light hasn't reached this level. It's merely an aspirational pursuit at this point, said Li Hong. Draped in a dark red cloak, Lin Yuan felt a shock in his heart. The Lord of Heaven Light is one of the 13th time life forms in this Fang Yuan world, as recorded in the Qingyun Saint sect's archives. Lin Yuan just hadn't expected that the Lord of Heaven Light held such a pursuit for runes, omnipotence, In reality, Lin Yuan also mastered a form of omnipotent power. And that is the world-breaking origin force. According to the information emerging from the Myriad Realms Gate, the world-breaking origin force could achieve anything. In theory, as long as there is a sufficient amount of world-breaking origin force, it's possible to completely kill a 13th level time lifeform. However, the required amount of origin force for this would be a number likely beyond reach. But in comparison to the rune omnipotence pursued by the Lord of Heaven Light, the omnipotence of world-breaking origin force is an established fact. Rune Dao. Lin Yuan composed himself, realizing the potential from the pursuit of the Rune Dao by the Lord of Heaven Light. Although it is unclear if the Rune Dao can ultimately reach the level of omnipotence, there is at least a faint hope. Otherwise, the Lord of Heaven Light as a time life form would not have conceived such an aspiration. And Lin Yuan cannot comprehend a bit about the world-breaking origin force. The essence of this power is too high. Lin Yuan can only sense its existence through the Myriad Realms Gate. Without the gate, he wouldn't know of this power at all. Now that he understands the theoretical end of the Rune Dao, which is akin to the world-breaking origin force, he could deeply comprehend the Rune Dao to indirectly witness the origin force. In comparison to using the world-breaking origin force as a means to achieve omnipotence, Lin Yuan desires more to realize omnipotence through himself, rather than relying on external objects. I admire the Lord of Heaven Light, so the Rune Dao path I comprehend leans towards what the Lord of Heaven Light would take. The Li Hong said, draped in a dark red cloak. And the Rune Dao I comprehended is generally divided into 3 categories. One is attack, another is defense, and the last is escape for life. The attack type Rune Dao is called Li Hong's Light, and it's my most powerful killing technique, forming a beam of Li Hong's Light composed of 26,835 runes, penetrating everything. Even a third realm strong wanderer must avoid its edge in defense at my strike. Li Hong's tone contained a deep-seated dissatisfaction. Utilizing the killing power of this rune technique, if I could move one step ahead and step into the third realm against that source demon, I might not be without a chance to fight. Li Hong's Light. Lin Yuan observed carefully, as the Li Hong, cloaked in dark red, was demonstrating as he explained this kind of Rune Dao, forming a dark red beam of light from interwoven runes. Though Li Hong's Light referred to a few attack methods passed down from the Lord of Heaven Light, it is also something I've developed. Later, you can view the many legacies recorded within this statue and evaluate them at your will. Li Hong, clad in a dark red cloak, exuded confidence in his tone. The second type of defensive Rune Dao I named Li Ding Dao, which turns runes into a cauldron, perfect and unbreakable. I once used this rune technique to withstand 10 breaths before a third realm strong wanderer. Li Hong's face showed a trace of pride. To withstand 10 breaths at the third realm level as a second realm wanderer was already quite commendable. As for the life-preserving Rune Dao, it's called Blood Rainbow Undying Skill, capable of cultivating thousands of blood rainbow bodies. Unfortunately, there is still causal connection between the different blood rainbow bodies. Otherwise, would that source demon dare to kill me? Dream on. Li Hong's expression showed determination. Clearly, he had a strong desire to survive when facing true life and death situations. The specific cultivation methods for these 3 Rune Daos, as well as the Rune Dao left behind by various Eternal Lords, are all stored within the statue. Li Hong, gazing at Lin Yuan, the Rune Dao path I take, I won't set any tests. Any normal cultivator can practice it. No need for pointless tests. But after your comprehension, don't destroy the statue. Leave a glimmer of hope for the successors. Li Hong finished speaking, sighed, and closed his eyes, murmuring to himself, Great Lord of Heaven Light, why did you not step forward to stop the demon disaster? Li Hong spoke lastly with a tone full of doubt before swiftly collapsing. Lord of Heaven Light. Lin Yuan was also curious about the status of the various Eternal Lords. Could they have been obstructed by the demon god? After pondering for a moment, Lin Yuan immediately penetrated his mind into the statue. Before me, 6 cultivators have come and comprehended the legacies inside. Lin Yuan immediately noticed the imprints inside the statue. Each comprehender would leave a trace within the statue, and Lin Yuan was the seventh comprehender. This was normal. According to Li Hong's words, this ruin existed since the initial major shift in heaven and earth. So over such a long period, having several cultivators discover the ruin was only natural. The Rune Dao legacies left behind by the Eternal Lords. The first thing Lin Yuan comprehended was these. Qingyun Saint sect had also collected some Rune Dao legacies, but few were related to the Eternal Lords, primarily because the founder of Qingyun Saint sect had just stepped into the third realm, inferior to old-timers like Li Hong at the peak of the second realm. Lord of Heaven Light. Within the statue were more than 20 Rune Dao paths left by the Lord of Heaven Light. The more Lin Yuan comprehended, the more amazed he became. He had never understood a 13th level legacy. In the Chaos Void, the first source world, especially the latter progenitors had left 13th level legacies for Lin Yuan to comprehend. But compared to the Rune Dao left by the Lord of Heaven Light, Lin Yuan felt a very obvious gap. The Rune Dao left by the Lord of Heaven Light had a profound understanding of runes, remarkably high even at the 13th level. Could this Lord of Heaven Light be a Time Lord? Lin Yuan thought to himself.